The interrogation side, you guys are going to be out again, out your two influence guys, but it'll be fine.
Mike, did you see the email I sent you?
I did. It was pretty cool.
This is it, man. Little working door. The top comes off. No paint, no nothing. I didn't have to really do anything
I
for
know.
cleanup.
It makes it perfect. Yeah, no paint. No, this one was one I did last night on the stream. This is the lava river,
That's awesome.
and then it took me forever. I know why they charge so much to do it now, but like on the back they have like this
Yeah.
fossil, and but they I had to paint 3 coats of white where the black is, and then I had to paint 3 black coats just to keep the light from coming through. So it's no wonder they charge more for these because it takes forever to paint them. It took me like 2.5 hours.
Yeah. So the roof is just brown plastic, but I mean it's pretty decent, you know. And those are a bunch of pieces all put together with little clips.
Mm.
So you can make it different sizes if you want. And same thing with this. Each of these squares is a piece, and they clip all together. It has corner pieces here, and they'll use these little clips. I've got different colored ones in there, but so they all clip together. And yeah, I mean, I think the quality is pretty. It probably looks like shit on here, but it's pretty good. You know, I mean, obviously you can see the layer lines if you look at it really closely, but
yeah, no, it looks good. The detail between the little pieces of brick, looks pretty good.
Yeah. So what I was thinking was, well, so this part, this is not white. It's actually it's called marble. So it has like little specks in it. So it looks more like stone, but and then this is just brown plastic. I have some plastic that actually has wood in it, but it's a pain in the butt to work with, and why bother? This looks fine. Looks like wood, This piece, the door is separate, prints separately, and then the door frame, it's actually 2 pieces. So this piece right here that my finger's on actually sits in on top of it, and then there's a piece of plastic filament that works as the hinge for the door.
Huh.
So I just put that in and super glued the pieces together. But I probably should have printed this U-shaped piece in this same material so it would look the same. But I was like, well, worst case, we could always paint the whole thing, but whatever.
Yeah.
But I figured, if you needed a small, if you needed more parts, this would probably be a good way to go, because this stuff that the connectors, it's called Open Click.
Yeah.
And so it's a it's like an open source system or whatever. And then this building was a free download, and then you can buy, there's all kinds of different buildings and stuff, and it's kind of neat because it's like Legos. You can make all these different parts and then stick them together and make different stuff, just like what you've got going on there with that stuff.
Yeah, it's I've seen a lot of those on Kickstarter too. People will like design, they'll actually model stuff in the modeling in the different modeling programs, which I tried to model when I was doing stuff for the tabletop simulator. There's a reason why I pay people to do that shit. I'm telling you right
it's
now.
It's a lot of work.
It is fucking insane. It is so hard.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of work, but I mean, I'll ship this out to you, and you can check it out, whatever.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's nice of you. Hey, Taylor.
Hey. It'd almost be the best if you could scan say you have the Dwarven Forge, but there's like one little tile piece you wish you had like 10 more of, like scan that, the dimensions of it, and then just make a bunch of like cheap versions of it to use if you run out of the other one.
Micah got he got a 3D scanner. It was a little cheapy one, and he's playing with it, and it was like basically reverse engineered different things like that. Like, oh, how much can you scan it to make it into an object file than to go to print it? Next 5 years, I mean, this is where we're going, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well,
who was it? It was KFC said they're going to start printing chicken nuggets now.
What?
Well, chicken nuggets are already, they're not actual pieces of chicken. They're just a slurry that they solidify. So instead of using, I guess, molds or whatever, they'll just like 3D print, the shapes of whatever it is.
That's weird.
And then they're already growing the fake meat. It's like lab grown protein, but actually tastes and cooks like meat. It's just at this point it's not practical. It costs too much. But once the price comes down, I mean, you'll be able to just buy. You could buy this slurry and you just print your own 3D steaks.
That's weird. But the pieces I only used 10% infill on these, so inside it just has like a grid in there, and there's only 10% of the inside of this is plastic. So the rest of it is air. So these are way lighter than the Dwarven Forge. So if you had a case full of this stuff, you wouldn't be breaking your nuts trying to move it around.
That's why I started doing the game at my house, because I'm tired of lugging that shit around.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, that's another advantage of it. And it's pretty cheap because you can buy the STL files and then print whatever you need. You buy the design files and then print whatever you need.
All right. Well, this should be everyone since. Eddie earlier said on he couldn't make it, and then Mike Scott just said he couldn't make it. So this is everybody. Well, yeah, I think last time we didn't have Taylor here, so I'll summarize what happened last time to bring him in. And I think for the current fight, I'm just going to put Taylor standing. Well, maybe that not be.
I could have been like a bird, like doing Overwatch.
I'll let's see. Well, no, I'll have you roll initiative. I was gonna put you right where Eddie was, but that might not be fair because he's invisible and he's standing right behind one big dude, and that would give you a little bit. Well, we'll figure it out.
Fair enough.
So
that would be an 18 if you want to know.
18 for your initiative. Well, that's pretty much gonna. It's kind of like everybody, and then all the bad guys, and then Eddie. Now it's everybody, and then all the bad guys. So it's like your turn, their turn. I mean, I did break up the different groups of bad guys with different initiatives, but you guys all rolled so well. You rolled better than them anyway. So last time Taylor was here, we had the fight in the laboratory. Actually, where Taylor was down most of the time. So hopefully Taylor gets not get knocked immediately down at the beginning of this one. And you had fought this stealth person who ended up giving up what was going on. Let me get my little notes table up here. Kidnapping stuff. So the person you were fighting, the invisible one, was this Samantha Klauberg, who goes by Kreuzotter, which is the German for Viper. She was working for the Steinadler Motorrad Club, the Golden Eagle Motorcycle Club, essentially a motorcycle gang. But she, to put point on it, she's had a pretty rough upbringing, was pretty much forced into the club, and was pretty much abused for a lot of her time in it. So in this fight, when it kind of came down to her being cornered, especially with the door being blocked and the blue suit kind of giving her out, not as in if we're not crushing you physically, we're not going to crush you legally either, trying to give her an opportunity. She had that moment where she kind of realized, she's not going to die for these people because they haven't been treating her all that well. And she did come up with all that tech herself. So she pretty much turned on that group and gave you all the details of what was going on. She gave up the name of the leader of that gang, Thomas Steinhauser, essentially goes by Tower Tom because he's like 6'8" or so, pretty tall guy. And that they were all hanging out at this biker bar, Rosie's, which was run by Rosie Eibenschutz, this gentleman here, who is an honorary member of the gang, but not really a member. He doesn't participate in any of the crimes and whatnot. He just sort of runs the bar. and enjoys the roughhouse, nefarious nature of the way they all operate. And as Viper said, he's really a decent guy at heart. He just kind of like he doesn't like rules or law and order or anything like that. He's not one to commit kidnapping or anything himself. She'd also said that as far as their operation, the job was to nab Merton in the lab, which they did. Viper stayed behind to watch the lab and the campus for police investigating, essentially you all. And then they all took him in a stolen van directly to wherever the group that had hired them to kidnap him was. And then they were going to lay low for a couple of weeks and before they went back to their own place. So it's not their garage that he would be kidnapped or he'd be held at. It's whoever they were working for, which you need to get out of them. And while they are on the lam hiding out, they are most likely going to show up at least to their bar to drink and go back to whatever flop house they're hiding out at. So the job was to head to this place, to Rosie's, stake the place out, try to find these guys, and then arrest them. I mean, for the crime, but most importantly, to interrogate them to find out where Merton was taken, so that you can go rescue him. Everyone had crashed for the night. Before that, they were taken out. Everyone was taken out to dinner by the local chief, David Ochtenberg, and his sergeant, Sarah Vesely, where you all had Henschen Schnitzel and plenty of beer of everyone's choices. Actually, I didn't know this was also an option. The beer stifle, the beer boot. Um, I had a conversation about the differences that you'd all thought of between Berlin and working back in Vienna. Things that were worse or better, or observations and stuff like that. Essentially, trying to poll, fellow professionals as far as their opinions on how things were going in Berlin before getting up in the morning and staking out Rosie's. And you did eventually notice some of these Golden Eagle Motorcycle Club fellas showing up on site, and of course, combat ensued. So to bring Taylor up to it, here's the overall view. You essentially have this intersection of Räumerstrasse and Dunkelstrasse. This was Rosie's on the corner of this building. On the sidewalk, it's got these indents to park additional cars, and you've got a little sort of concrete pad out here for like a patio. There is no back entrance or anything to the place. It's just the front door to get in, and then the bar proper. And as far as the actual location, perhaps, and this is RPG. Oh, come on, where's Rosie's? Oh, here we go. 30 Snow. Ormerstrasse. There we go. So here's the shot from overhead. You basically got a park over here, buildings and all the other sides. This corner is the front entrance to Rosie's, and then the bikes are parked out front here. And if we go to the street view, there's really not a decent one too much closer, but this is the place. So here's the front door. Here are the tables kind of wrapping around, and then where these cars are, and these cars are where those bikes are. So this shot is as if we were standing here looking east at the door, to give you an idea of the flavor of the space. And everyone is kind of standing around on this segment here or inside. If I go this way, get a shot of it from the far end. So that's pretty much the front, and this is where everyone is standing out front. You got some trees here, and then these concrete bollards as well.
Just out of curiosity, is this the same kind of biker gang that we met on the trolley way back? And I was like, slow down.
No, so that was the Valkyries. That
Valkyries.
was an all-women's biker club, and while this one has their main thing is arson. They're kind of arsonists. Tower Tom is a little bit of a firehead, although he doesn't have fire powers or anything. And Viper said this is the guy, like on his motorcycle, he has leather bag just full of Molotov cocktails and incendiary grenades and stuff. The Valkyrie biker gang, they're actually a vigilante gang. So they are pro order, anti crime, but they are criminals in that they go too far and hurt or kill people if they're not doing the right thing. So yeah, another motorcycle gang, and that is one that's, at least as far as we've seen the police reports, local to Vienna. They're not a national one. I mean, these are national either. This is just like a local gang to Berlin. So we zoom in on the area. I think, what was I doing roughly? I think 50% pretty much shows everything here. Yeah. So everyone, you're all in blue. Let me grab Metamorph. Throw you in here. I'm going to take Oliver out. So Oliver was standing here. I'm not going to put him in the same position, although. So you've got Lightning Man out front. He's got resistance 5 on him against precise damage. He had shot at this thug here. Towards the beginning of it, Blue Suit had gone in to kind of watch things from the inside, and I think it was Oliver Ramos had gone over and actually knocked over some of these motorcycles, which like knocked over, like, you know, boom, 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 boom on the floor. And that's what got most of the guys running outside. Guys in green, these are like patrons of the bar. If you were to look at them, they don't really look like they belong. I mean, this is kind of your rough and tumble biker bar, and these people aren't really dressed like that, and just the way they carry themselves, they're really not much of a threat. Everyone in yellow or orange, you know, they are potential threat, but they haven't gone aggressive or at least acted in that way. Some of these red dots were yellow, and they had since turned red as, you know, they came out to fight. There was a moment at the beginning when a lot of them came outside and were kind of looking at the bikes, and there was a kind of hesitation in the air, and the team kind of said, "Okay, we're the police. You're under arrest," like that. Some fighting started among the more aggressive elements, and then there was a split. Like some of the yellow guys just ran, like, we're out of here, and some of them were like, "All right, let's do this," and they kind of got into the fight. These two fellas here, 31 and 32, they had been sitting out at a table outside. When the bikes were knocked over, they came running down. And then when the fighting started and you identified yourselves as police, they pretty much looked at each other, were like, "We're out." They ran, got on their bikes. They have backed out, and they're about to head north, just leaving the scene. And they haven't necessarily committed any crimes so far. See. Yeah, I had so they like a standard bike, kind of a shitty bike, or a pristine bike, and then the ones with the I'm gonna make them orange to be consistent. The orange text bikes are bikes that have like golden eagles and stuff painted on the side, like badges and imagery of the gang. So you imagine these are 3 gang bikes. Also, mid-fight, this bike came tearing down the street, showed up, and the one guy who's the head of the gang, Tower Tom Steinhauser, he's the one that was on this bike. Pulled up. He walked over here, picked up this bike over his head, started walking south towards you guys. Eddie was behind him. He did a dominate and said drop. So Tom just dropped the bike. It just like smashed down in front of him, and he's kind of confused. Eddie's gone, but I mean, the dominate was over anyways. He already dropped the bike. I'm going to roll it. He's still in that mode where he has to shake it off, but that's why Tom was up here. He basically went over here. He doesn't seem to have any superpowers. Maybe he has super strength. I mean, but yeah, someone who is significantly strong could probably pick up a bike over their head. And while it's not a wrinkly little dirt bike, it's not a huge hog, but it is a decent sized heavier motorcycle. These three guys, 33, 34, and 35, they had all been sitting inside and were yellow. When they came out, they ended up turning red. They also have a little bit of a Three Musketeers, sort of thing. The Three Stooges. They have a little bit of a Three Stooges vibe. 34 and 33 had run out to the door and were kind of standing in the door looking at the bikes. 35 came over and just knocked 34 over so that he could stand out there. 34 came back and like knocked him back. But when the fightings kind of started in earnest, they did kind of go red together. I think Eddie also did an incapacitate on all of them, which I'm just going to leave in effect, and it'll wear off whenever it wears off, or if they resist it. So two of the three are incapacitated. One of them shook it off, but he is still he's got knocked down because he's still prone from having been knocked out. Blue Suit had gone inside, kind of pretending to just be a moron, like one of your finest beers, sir. You know. But then once things kicked off, and Thug number 2, which the thugs that have the gold lettering are guys that are wearing like Golden Eagle regalia. So these three at least are the guys you want. He had gone running past Blue Suit sitting there, and Blue Suit basically just tripped him. So he landed on the ground, and then when he went to get up, he basically just knocked him down again. So that's why this guy's got stacks of good Banes on him. Number 1 had run out and just run over to the bike to try to pick it back up again. Lars zapped him for his 2 Bane combo, and then Shooting Star came running over to kind of try to finish him off. I can check the numbers, but I believe he's the one. Yeah, the thugs number 1 and number 2 are both bloodied or near 2. The last thing to happen was that the server went running behind the bar up to the door leading to the marked private, and Rosie came running out and is now running towards the front of the bar. At least as Blue Suit can see. The rest of you, it's still light out and it's too dark inside to see what's going on without.
There's a slight correction there. I'm absolutely humiliating number 2.
He has knocked him down multiple times, and I think the one time he was knocked down, he got up and was like pissed. He made like evil eyes, but then turned to walk to the door, and then Blue Suit just like took him down again. So let's say, actually, we'll start you. You know, you're maybe you like parked your car here. You're showing up to the scene, and now you're standing. I'm gonna give you like roughly near Eddie. So I don't want to make you too far, but 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. I want to make it so you're not within like one movement of immediate combat, but not too far. So you came running through the park. You're standing at the edge of the thing, and you're in the initiative order. We'll just pick you up as you're standing there. Everyone else had kind of buffed up, so in theory, like while you're moving to get into position, you could throw something on if you want to turn into something as you're charging out.
I was thinking probably make some little buddies as I'm coming over.
Okay. Let's see. I think for that, I'll have you do that on your first turn because that might be.
Oh yeah, that's not really something to put on me. At that point, you know what? Turn me into a gorilla.
Yeah, do the shapeshift. And let me turn annotation on.
I really did like the Vine Monster last time. Maybe I'll go Vine Monster.
And let me double check. Shapeshift 6. And I think we started at the bottom with Eddie going last because he was the last one in. So we'll start at top of the order. Oh, does anyone else have any questions about what was happening or the statuses on everybody? I don't think anyone's got any veins to argue out or anything like that. And someone had attempted to do demoralize on Tower Tom, and it didn't do anything at all. He appeared to just shake it off as though it didn't bother him. So he appears to have a Bane resistance to at least demoralize. Just so if anyone forgot, you don't like try to do it. And we'll start with the blue suit first. We had an insane initiative of 29 from the beginning of the last fight. Let's see if I can deal with this. Need the dice. All right, what would you like to do?
Was it me first?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Veronica asked me a question and it completely derailed the entire thing. So
you had the initiative 29, so you're definitely
I was making
first.
some pretty freaking sick rolls last time, which means this time I'm gonna suck.
It's all about to change.
Yeah. Here we go. And now the downturn. Let's see here. That thug is knocked down and incapacitated at the moment, right?
Yes, and he failed his first incapacitate roll. He is also bloodied, so he's taken a bit of damage.
But I do see Rosie over there.
Yes, it's hard to miss him. He's a rather large gentleman, tall as well as broad-shouldered, and looks like a linebacker just coming down the row there.
I am going to tell
and to be fair, so you did see him come out of that private door, and he's running for the panel, but he does, as far as where he's focused and looking, he appears to be running for the door. Now, I mean, if he turns the corner and looks, his things may change. But as he's running by, it's not like he's eyeballing you in specific. So he's not running at you right now, but he is running in your general direction.
In my general direction, right?
If anything, you would have thought, 21 said, hey, something's going on outside. He ran out. He's going to run, turn. He's going to start running down to the door. Maybe he turns this corner. He's looking towards the door. Maybe he might make a perception check and go, oh, shoot, and then start to engage you. Oops, I forgot where he was. Undo. But it's not like he's coming out of the door eyeballing you. So it's like he hasn't noticed you yet, but there's a potential there.
All right. Did he get to the end there or no?
No. I was just that's like the direction he's running in, but he's here right now, and he's further down in the initiative order.
Because he was there originally when we started.
Yeah.
Where the
okay. I clicked on undo maybe too many times.
Yeah, so, that's where he was.
Wherever he was. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm remembering that was it.
So I'm guessing. Well, see, the thing is I'm pretty sure he's not going to help us with anything. He doesn't. He's not a helpful person.
But Viper's briefing on him was he's an honorary member of the gang. He's not a criminal in his own right, but he is definitely doesn't like authority. Wants it. He wouldn't litter, but if you walked up and said, "Please don't litter," then he would litter just because you told him not to litter.
Okay.
Not so much contrarian. He just doesn't like authority. And he likes having a biker gang because he likes having the biker gangs drink at his place. He likes it being that kind of place because he likes the rowdiness. He likes people making too much noise, smashing tables, and he'll just buy new tables. It is that kind of an attitude.
Okay.
He would help these people, but he wouldn't go to prison for them. He wouldn't die for them.
Well, I guess my thought process is would he lot since I'm not harassing anyone but certain ones? I'm wondering if he would actually try to assault a police officer or not. Like that's my thought process. It's fine. You don't have to tell me anything. I'm just trying to assess that.
From the briefing, you would guess probably yeah. If it was a case where like all the say he walked outside and there was 2 paddy wagons with 20 officers with rifles, like this is a Butch Sundance, we're gonna kill you. Then he'd be like, okay, I'm out, that kind of thing. But if it's throwing a couple of cops around, he wouldn't pull a gun and shoot you in the head. But if you're fighting one of his buddies, he'd pick you up and just throw you across the room to get you off his buddy. He'd definitely do that.
Okay.
That's what he was trying to get across.
All right, so I'm just gonna say to the thug, I told you to stay down, and then I'm gonna switch out. I'm gonna fire my grease gun and say, "Hey, Rosie, take a seat. We got this." And I'm gonna grease this area here.
Okay.
So it is just a regular.
And to 41 seemed like a little bit of a doofus, like he didn't kind of understand what was going on or what kind of place he was in. 42 and 43 strike you as like the hipsters that came here to
like,
watch the bar fight break out because that's the entertainment for them. So
like,
they're innocents, but they're kind of douchebags as far as
I'm not.
They're already cheering. They're cheering you on right now because you're winning, but if he was beating you, they'd probably be cheering him on as well.
So
okay.
Where's
object template?
Patron, demoralized. So slowed 1 because that's how slowed worked, and demoralized 6. It's potent. Disadvantage for resisting when inflicted with the bane, either slowed and demoralized. So I'm just gonna roll it for that area.
Yeah, I'm putting in case it goes, or I'll delete it if it fails.
I mean, it'll still be there. It just won't. Oh, I see. Yeah, it'll still be there. It's just whether or not he's affected by it.
You should put some grease under the Three Stooges so you can get Curly to go or something.
Well, right now they are all laying down. And these 2 are sleeping.
The rolls keep coming, gentlemen.
20.
Yeah, not that one, but I did get the 8. My 8 got another roll. So 27, 30, 36 for a demoralized 6 and a. I don't know if demoralized goes to 6 or not, but a slowed 1.
Yeah, and that's the one where he essentially has demoralized because it's the humiliate, the difficulty thing of being in the.
Yeah, so it's potent to resist it. He is demoralized 6 because that's of the 2. I revoked both those, the slowed and that. So he's at disadvantage 2. Now I don't know if that adds another die for the potent part of it or not. I don't think it stacks. I don't think it does.
Yeah, I don't think it would apply to the other.
It's like, what's the worst? Like, what's the highest level of the? He's already at disadvantage 2. So instead of being disadvantage 1, he's disadvantage 2.
Yeah.
To resist those banes.
I guess not for now, but for later. Email me that one if it's not, if the updated one isn't already in your folder. If it is, I'll check. I'll check.
Yeah, it's updated on my spreadsheet. That's why it's so expensive, because it only does slowed 1. I couldn't put anything else on it, so it does the 10-foot area to invoke both the bane.
Yeah, I just wanted to read the language it used to figure out that demoralized thing to see if it's an involved something.
Oh, you mean if the potent part? Okay.
Yeah, I can see the slowed and the potent on the slowed. It's just the way the demoralized feature works. If someone's in it or leaving it, or if the demoralized impacts the slowed, I just want to see the language.
The demoralized only happens when I actually shoot the grease on the person. It doesn't work when they walk into the area. The slowed is only the area. The demoralized is like I'm, like in Ghostbusters when they had the freaking goo guns and they made them feel
Yeah.
good. That's basically what it is. I'm like, oh look, you're all covered in grease, and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
like that's so it doesn't work if they just walk into it. That's just only the slowed can happen if they walk into it.
Yeah.
That seemed to be what made sense to me. I didn't want it to make it this all powerful, like, oh, I'll just have this thing that I'm always shooting a 10-foot square and you're always getting Banes. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, but it's still an area someone could walk out of, and Lars has his 2-hit combo too. So yeah, no, it was okay. So for now, it doesn't matter. It lands, and the guy's he's slimed, so he's got slowed and demoralized on him, and you can move or do any other minor actions.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. Like those guys that are at the doors, are they incapacitated? Is that it? Or knocked down?
Yeah.
Eddie like stunned them.
Yeah, he did. Actually, I think it was just the incapacitated Bane, but he did an area effect.
But those guys
So
didn't have the markings of that club. They were just like bar fight, basically, right?
Yeah. I mean, they were yellow, so they are dressed like bikers. They don't appear to have any of the color or markings or the jacket. They've got other jackets. They initially came out to see the bikes knocked over, and then once like the police started, once you started identifying yourself as police, or like back once you guys started asserting your authority, that's when they kind of turned and were like, nah, fuck this, we're gonna fight. And then Eddie immediately put them all to sleep, except for 34, woke up and is still laying on the
Right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's basically. I think I'm just gonna hold my ground where I'm at. I got this guy in case he tries to get up again. I've just taken Rosie. At least I've slowed him down a little bit. I kind of want to see what these other guys do, so I think I'm good.
Okay. And next, Lightning Man. Initiative 21, still solid.
All right, I'm attacking number 1 with a damage attack.
Okay.
24.
So.
Stun persistent damage.
Around.
And I don't. Does the persistent damage happen on my turn? Because he already has persistent damage and stun.
Yeah, the persistent damage wouldn't stat. That happens at the beginning of his turn.
Okay.
Equals.
So they can't be reapplied, right?
So you did enough damage for your Bane focus to add 2 on. Yeah. So
he already has those 2.
He already has those 2, but don't you have 3 Banes that are, or is it?
Well, I'm Bane specialized in stunned and persistent.
Oh yeah, okay, just those 2. So yeah, like if one of them had dropped, it would have reapplied the one that was no longer on there. But since they're already on there, they just
if it's high enough, I could put it on. If it's high enough, I could put a different one on, right?
You have Bane focus on these 2, so they come into effect at 5 over. If you did 10 over, you could apply one of the other Banes, but it wasn't high enough for that.
Okay.
But yeah, if you've done 10 points, then your Bane focus is not required. It's just any Bane, and you could pick another one in addition to these 2. I think that happened once already too. So he took the damage. He is again still bloodied. Still has these on him, and if I forget, remind me to do the persistent damage when his turn comes around. And he tried to resist the stun once and failed. If he fails 2 more times, it's permanent. Well, not permanent, but for all intents and purposes.
In addition to that, I'm just yelling, police, drop your weapons, and fall to the ground right now. To just everybody.
Okay.
That's it. Done.
Let's see. I guess I can do that thing on their turn. And next up is Metamorph with 18. So you're showing up on the scene. All you can see is Shooting Star and Lightning Man out front. You're guessing Blue Suit's probably inside. But you're not sure where inside he is.
I want to, as frighteningly as possible, approach the bartender and with my might try and cause fear into him.
Okay.
I'd probably look really, really scary as a vine elemental. I'm thinking. Hopefully, it'll work. But
Yeah, that is on the creepy side.
I wonder if I should go for 2. If I want to get, Tom is already dominated, and I kind of want to keep him around. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for the bartender.
Okay. Yeah, fear. Yeah, you can do it with might, and that'd be a 5. And are you want to do it from here or closer
I'll
to
walk
him?
30 feet up to him and just
Okay.
intimidate the fuck out of him. Just hit the ground like boom. It's like, boom, boom. It's kind of like a T-Rex approaching us. Hopefully, it'll work.
All right. Yeah, might check against his. Well, yeah, just against his resolve.
That's 10.
A 10?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, resolve is usually everyone's weakest, but it's still not enough. So
I rolled a 2 on the D20.
He is a bartender in a biker bar, so you get a little bit of the wide-eyed, like, what the hell is that? But then that lizard brain is just kicks in of the I could take him, like the dude bros watching the vampire movie, like, oh, I could take him. Just punch him in the teeth and stake him, no problem. So yes, it does not succeed, but he is kind of looking at you weird in your appearance.
I actually did realize that I've been rolling my might wrong. I put my alteration into my might, so when my alteration went up to 6, technically my might also went to 6. So instead of 2d6, 2d8. But it's probably not going to change anything.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, this. Depending on how it goes, you're probably not too much trouble. Let's see. Okay, you moved. Sustaining it. Any other minor actions before we go?
Just keep me.
Your shapeshift, you don't have to use a minor action to sustain it.
I could shapeshift into something else. I don't really know what to, so I'm just gonna chill.
Oh, is that? Yeah, that's the one you can do it as a move or a minor action or something.
Yeah, I can do it as a minor. Yeah. Is that a boon focus?
That's 6. That's a big turning point for a lot of powers. Okay, shooting star.
All right. I'm going to use my sap and try to just take this guy down, number 1.
Yep. Yeah, I think the last time you swung it at him and it just like bounced off his shoulder.
Yeah.
It didn't quite connect.
I got a total of 19 this time. Damaging attack.
19. This is number 1. This is the same one. Yep. So Lightning Man it just zapped the bejesus out of this guy a second time, still being stunned. The smoke is still kind of coming off of him when you slap him with your sap, and he just folds.
Yep.
Phil. And these come off.
All right, so now that I've done that and sustained my my resistance, I'm going to move up 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That way. Yep, you got it right there.
Okay.
And I'll just say, stay down.
They're unconscious.
Oh, I thought
34.
1 wasn't.
Yeah, 34. So you say basically the 34, like
Yeah,
stay down?
just stay down.
Okay.
So he sees that we've zapped and knocked this guy out, and I'm like, stay down.
I'm not sure if he quite. Well, he saw the lightning going over there. I guess. Let's see. Let me pull this dude out. You're done. What happened here? Okay. And it's everybody else's turn. Thug number 2 is incapacitated, so he can't do anything this turn, but at the end of his turn, he can try to resist the incapacitate, which he's already failed once, and he just failed a second time. He is still snoring away, and one more, and he's going to be snoring for quite a while. 30. Oh, 31. 31 and 32 take off. So I'm just going to park them off to the side here. I'm kind of leaving the maps as records, so.
If they were a part of the gang, I would have definitely tried to grab like the back wheel.
Yeah, no, you could see from them, just even in their driving, they're like, we out. 31 is out. 32 is out. The field is thinning a bit. Who's next? The server. She walks over to Rosie. Would that be? Well, she's helping, so I guess motivation-wise, she's helping Rosie, but she is acting against you, so technically she goes red. And she just drags him out this way. I mean, the slowed comes off, or does that stay because he has the grease on him? Is that only while he's in the field?
It's supposed to be you have to resist being slowed when you're moving through the thing. So yes, I would state that if you drag someone out of it, he's still demoralized though.
Yeah. So the slowed, that's what I was asking. The slowed comes off, but the demoralized stays on because he's still got the grease all over.
It's your call on how you want to handle it. I have it. I mean, again, you're shooting a 10-foot area, which is pretty powerful. So I was making a limitation on the equipment based upon specifically that area for that reason.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I would say the slowed would take effect. So if she normally could have dragged him 4 squares, she could only drag him 2, like half the distance
sure.
to just get him out. She was just doing the one drag. So yeah, so he still has the demoralized, just not the slowed because he's not. And if he tried to go back into it, he
would have to try to roll against being slowed.
Yeah. And that's it. She moves, she pulls him out, and she's crouched down. She's not quite prone, but she's crouched. There's really no. If someone's literally shooting at them or her behind the bar, she's lower down. Not that that's kind of a thing. Server. 22, the bartender. Yeah, he does that. He's kind of like, kind of psychs himself up and then charges into the metamorph. Actually, I'm gonna take. He runs over, jumps up on the bollard, jumps up in the air, and kind of comes down with his club. It's like a little billy club down at the metamorph. So we'll say he basically ends here, but he's kind of doing this like jump in the air to kind of try to get a little bit of extra force off it. Not that it does anything with the statistics. It's more for the dice. It's more story wise. But he takes his shot and. And maybe Taylor, I have your guard as 20, but I don't know if it's higher or if it's different because in your vine form. Oh, you're on mute.
Yes, it's usually 21, but I don't know how that would change with this elemental thing. Honestly, we haven't done the elemental stat blocks yet.
Let's see. Might. Guard comes from agility and might. Guessing those roughly be the same. So I had your alteration is 6. you have one of this attribute substitution alteration of might? That's why my numbers are off. So I changed your alteration to 6. I also had to change your might to 6. Okay, now it shows 21. Yeah, the might or your guard comes from your agility and your might primarily, and I think those would be about the. I mean, you already have your top stat 6 in it too, so I think that would be pretty much the same as divine creature. So I'll just do a 21 for a guard, and this is the bartender, and he's using Stingy. That's bad, but that explodes. Plus that, plus that. That's just enough. You take 3 points of damage, the minimum 3, as he clocks you in your plant head. I think that's one thing I would probably do if you're shape-shifting into one of those like elementals or oozes and stuff. I would say if someone was trying to do like a precise shot on you or something for more damage, they couldn't because you don't really have a sensitive spot. Like normally you like club someone in the head to get a stun. Like you don't really like your brain isn't really in your head anymore. It's kind of distributed out through your whole plant, through your root system there. So he clubs you in your plant head. The thing hits and leaves like a little bruise, like when you get bruised celery. But it's just tis but a scratch. That there. Server, bartender. The other 2 bartenders they were looking out the window. He's just moving away from the window. It's kind of like looking at Rosie and checking out the scene. But still, these 2 have not made. I mean, you're there to see this too. It's small enough an area. I don't need a perception check. They don't. They seem non-committal at least at this point, as far as how they're acting. Oh, this is a disadvantage in having multiple bad guys. I got so much to control. 35 and 36. Oh, yeah, 34, 35, 36. Three stooges. 33 and 35 can do nothing this round other than at the end of their round to try to shake the Bane. 33. What did he need? It was the 10 or above. He succeeded. Oh, they both succeeded. So they just have. They're just prone. But they do not get to act except for 34. 34 almost. You said to stay down, almost in spite of you saying that. He stands up defiantly. That's half of his movement. It's still enough to move over to you. That's his buddy next to him. So he's going to move to the other side of you, but he doesn't have enough movement, so he's moving through your space. So you get an attack of opportunity as he tries to maneuver around. He's not going to have flanking until he stands up, but it's his thinking, or not a lack of thinking in that aspect. You just want to do doing a damaging attack.
Damaging attack.
Actually, that'd be another thing to look up is
20.
Are attacks of opportunity damaging attacks only, or can you invoke a Bane? Let me write that down as something to check.
I can look it up while you're doing it.
Yeah, just see if attack of opportunity, if anything, says it has to be. Well, actually, it has to be melee. That's the limit. So, I guess see if it mentions doing a melee Bane attack.
Well, I mean, you'd think it would follow the other attacks, but I'll take a look.
Sorry, go ahead. Oh, sorry.
My total, I had the 8 explode, so my total was 30.
30, that's going to do her. This is 33, 30 minus 34. You do a significant amount of damage. He is now injured. That's where he's below 2/3, and you get to throw a free Bane on top of that. So
I'll put the
this is
knockdown Bane
a
on.
Bane that would fit based on the type of attack you were doing.
Yeah.
And you're doing yours is the sap. That's like
Sap.
the precise
Yep.
one. So
So
any
it's a
agility
knockdown.
based one would work. Oh, not knockdown.
Yep.
Let me see. I think that's also agility. Yeah, that's also agility. So yeah, you you made him stay down. Oh shit, he still has to attack you yet. Eric, you're ruining my plans.
So the opportunity attack happens when they move from a space that's within your reach outside of your reach. So it's them moving outside of your range. If they stay in your range, I don't think you get it.
Yeah, that's right. This is the one where D&D,
It's different from it's
Pathfinder,
opposite.
Yeah.
and
It's
all
opposite.
three of them are different.
Basically, it's like if you're tanking them, if you're in their square and you're threatening them right next to them, if they try to move away from you, you get an opportunity. But if they stay around, it's like they're dancing around you like boxing.
Yeah, where I think that's I think well, I know Pathfinder, it's moving through any of the squares that they threaten. All right, well, we'll do that going forward. It was too funny a scene to let that not go. So we'll say it happened in the context of the game. Then next time we'll do. I have to remember it's exiting the. I was doing Pathfinder rules because
For some reason I thought you had him go around.
Yeah, you have to do the with my swashbuckler. You had to roll acrobatics to move like through their square.
Oh, did he try to move actually through my square?
Oh no, through your threatened squares.
So,
okay. Like in Pathfinder, running around you, like every single time, that's an attack. That's an attack. That's an attack. In D&D, that happens, but only once, and then the rest of them are all free. In this, it's only leaving the square. D&D, it's also leaving the square. So I'll do. You get the attack. You did do the knockdown, but I'll say he gets to throw his attack. I mean, I think he can still attack you from prone, just with disadvantage.
Sure.
I'm just going to do it without as a compromise. So
it does not say it's a minor action, and you can only have one attack of opportunity per turn, but it does not state. It's got to be melee again. What we were talking about, but it does not state anything about. It's just a melee attack. I'm guessing if you do the 10 over, it will invoke the Bane. Otherwise, it does not.
Yeah, no, the 10 over, I think, would definitely invoke the Bane. I was thinking that, like, say Eric said, instead of a damaging attack, I'm going to do a knockdown Bane.
No, it says specifically it's a special minor action that is an attack. So it is not
but the word attack it uses for Banes too. It's called a Bane attack instead of a damaging attack.
It doesn't. It's trying to say like, oh, it's giving you a minor action. I mean, I guess we could go on the message boards, but in the book, it specifically does not state that you get any sort of Bane attack. It's saying you get to lash out basically.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I'll let me still add to my list because I'm curious.
Kurt, I can't see it, but I'm pretty sure. But last time I had changed my resistance from precise to what's that?
Forceful, and it is on there.
Okay, I couldn't see it. That's all.
No worries. It's like the zoom level that fits everybody in is kind of just enough that actually we're
understood.
I can cut the restrooms out and go in a little bit. Yeah, I can go a little bit up and down there. That's a little bit more visible. I tried playing with the tags. I can do. All right. Attack opportunity, Bane attack save. He's gonna try to hit you back. Oh god. It's like 2 on the die 20 and then 8 on the other die, which does explode, but that's not going to help me much. That is not enough. He swings his same thing like a club, and it bounces off of your effect, your whether it's the vibrating or I don't know if you want to like put your story wise on it. When you do this resistance, is it indicative of you're kind of dodging out of the way, or you're almost kind of like vibrating through, and there's like in the Flash and Superman, they say you would think like, oh, he can fly at supersonic speed. When you're flying through air at supersonic speed, it's going to rip the skin right off your body. So you almost need to be super strong, like Superman, just to be able to resist things like that. Or with others like the Flash, they sometimes they'll describe it as like a field, a protective field around him as they go. So I don't know if you want to describe what it looks like.
I
Like
would say I
his
would
attack
dodge.
connects, but it's because of your defenses.
Yeah, I would say it's more of a dodge because if I were running at full speed, it would make sense that I had that, force field of air around me. But if I'm standing still, then it's just I just move so fast you can't hit me.
Yeah, and then the different damage types is just the function of the game that we have to
Right.
pick. So that works out. All right, so he does. He tries to crane you, and you just like whip out of the way. Where normally, they say it might have hit you. That was 3, 4, 5, 3, 6, and Tom. So drop. He still has to obey the command, but he already. Oh, how do you? It worked fine with swim, where you could persistently do that. Whereas drop, is he going to drop something else? He's not carrying anything else. So I'm going to say the drop doesn't do anything. Yeah, Eddie's not here, so I'll throw it out in the balance. Let me just roll the resist for afterwards. All right, he resisted anyway, so he's basically just back in the fight. All right, so he shakes that off, and he uses essentially his attack to, picking up. Normally a minor action. This is picking up a whole damn motorcycle. So I'm just going to say that's like kind of his attack actions to pick the motorcycle back up, and then he's going to move. Yeah, the plant monster is kind of caught his attention. So 5, 10, 15, 20, and he can't throw it yet until his next turn. So, but you see the guy metamorph him pick up. He's like holding the motorcycle over his head and walking over towards you.
Grab his legs and pull him out from under him.
Yeah. And back to blue suit.
Okay. Basically the guy on the ground is incapacitated. I'm just like, yeah, that's right. You stay down. And it seems silly. I'm gonna grease right here. Now that
just
she's
just do the whole bar, just burn.
Yep.
Oh yeah, grease. And there's no roll for like the accuracy of like where you put it down.
No, I put it there. It's just rolling for invoking the Bane.
Okay.
So it's whether or not it evokes it or they resist it or not. No, I want. No, where's my die 8? There. So I do get an explosion, but I didn't roll well on the die 20. So let's see. 3, 4, 12, 18.
18. Does it say versus
Hold on.
guard or toughness? Actually, it might even be different because it's its own thing. Oh, it's depending on the stat.
Demoralized is resolve. Slowed is...
the other one would be guard because everything's guard except for entropy, and that wouldn't be it. So that's gonna hit for both of them.
Did he shake out the demoralized last time?
It actually hasn't. Oh, I didn't.
You didn't try
I
for it.
skipped. I didn't skip him, so I didn't skip him. I did skip him when I did everybody. I just change everyone's color depending on their yellow or.
You didn't not skip him. There you go.
Yeah, I didn't not skip him, so let me roll back. Let me just have him try to resist the demoralize because he can. He does not.
At disadvantage too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that would make it even worse. That was as his minor action because you can do that for demoralize. Right. He's actually going to use his move action to try to shake it off. At disadvantage too.
Because because if you're trying to shake off demoralize, you have to do it at the disadvantage that demoralize gives you, right? That's my question. I didn't know how that worked. So demoralize gives you a disadvantage. So if you're trying to shake off demoralize, you have to shake it off.
Yeah, that's the way I rolled it.
Yeah,
that's a good question. I think I would assume it would.
That makes the most sense. Like, why couldn't you just be like, oh, I'm just gonna, the point is you're at disadvantage.
Yeah, yeah. And that did it on that one because I rolled a 20, a 17, and a 5, and because of that he did not shake it off.
I'll take the 5, please. Thank you.
Yeah. And he's going to use his move. Was essentially his other action to move defiantly through the original grease, which was slowed. Okay. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Okay, then I would have shot him, not her.
Yeah. So we can take back where you fired.
Yeah, go ahead and put it on patron 43, but basically put it like this. Yeah, like that.
Here.
Yeah. With the 18 for the invoking.
Oh yeah, and that's with the 18.
So yeah, 18 against his resolve, and then the slowed is against whatever. So he may not be slowed, but
yeah, he is.
I'll take it.
And he's not really engaged, but just for the record.
Guy's like, oh man. But I basically like I just scan over. I'm like, dude, just stay out of it. Like, or basically like I understand this is your establishment. The damages will be paid for. We just need, and I point to the thug. We're just taking these guys. The other guys, as far as I'm concerned, if they want to fight cops, they're gonna go to jail. But we're not here to do anything to your establishment. We need this person. Someone's life is on the line.
All right. Yeah. I mean, so essentially, as your minor action, you can speak within that way. Do always the keywords with me: persuasion, deception, or presence. Essentially, any of the social ones.
There'll be presence. Load it up. Not bad. Well, it's an 18. I rolled a 1 on the 6, but so yeah, I rolled an 18.
Above challenging, below heroic. I'm gonna say he hasn't decided to give up. He seems to be pausing and mulling it over. In game terms, I'm gonna say he's basically gonna lose a turn. So like this turn, when his turn comes up, he's gonna be like, "Is this really worth it? How pissed off am I?"
Right.
Because that was a decent roll. Okay, and
that's me.
Lightning Man. If Eric could step out of the way, he could do a sweet chain lightning right through that. Actually, you could do chain lightning and just wrap it right around Eric. That would just be two 10-foot segments.
So, was number 4? Is he holding that motorcycle up again?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm going to step 10 feet to the left, and I'm going to do ranged multi-attack against 33, 4, and 5. I have +1 on that, so that means
before you do, the only thing they are prone now, so it would be disadvantage against them. But more than that, I think from this angle you'd have a hard time getting a clean shot on 33 and 35.
5 feet.
What's that?
You only moved me 5 feet. I'm moving 10 feet to the left.
Okay.
Wow, that's a lot of dice.
That's because we got disadvantage too.
Yes, it is. So it would be disadvantage 3. Is that the deal?
Well, it's disadvantage one. One of the disadvantages because they're on the ground, and then there's 3 of them.
And
so I don't know if that adds
so
up.
it'd be disadvantage 4, and I have advantage 1 because of the feet. So it'd be disadvantage 3. Does that sound right?
Well, or first off, I think if you moved, I mean, you have enough movement. If you move 15 feet to the left, I'd say then you'd kind of have a shot. And this is doing the multi-target where you just pick attacking 3 ones, and you have the focus on that one. So normally gives you advantage 1, and that's what you're asking. So it's normally 3 targets, so it would be disadvantage 3. They're prone, so disadvantage 4. You have the bonus, so yeah, it would be disadvantage 3. So you roll a die 20, and then whatever your other dice are, you roll 3 of those and take the worst.
Yeah. So it's 2 die 8. So I'm rolling 5 die 8, and I take the worst 2. Is that correct?
Good question. This is 2 die 8. Disadvantage 1 would be 3.
Disadvantage 3.
1.
You were rolling.
2,
I thought you just
3.
picked the worst.
So
I'd roll
5. So 5 dice, and you take the worst 2.
The worst 2. Yep. Okay.
Roll good, Lars.
Yeah.
20.
20. I think that's still going to do it.
A 17, a 1, and a 2.
This is 33, 34, 35.
You do bands if possible. Of course.
You do hit them all for damage, but you do not get any banes on top of that.
I didn't get high enough.
No. It was less than 5 damage.
Okay.
Knockdown. Right, yeah, and they're still knocked down. Yeah. So it's like 3 arcs of lightning shot up, hit them while they were on the ground, and they're kind of shaking on the ground there.
Yep.
And I mean, besides sustaining resistance, any other minors or any additional movement?
5 more feet to the left.
Okay.
That's it. Done.
And metamorph.
Oh, of course the train comes in now. I kind of feel like I want to talk this guy down because I was a previous vigilante and I feel like I know where he's coming from. I kind of want to immobilize him in the motorcycle and kind of just talk to him. But we're kind of in battle, so it's kind of a terrible idea.
Well, no. The Valkyrie Motorcycle Club back in Vienna, those were vigilantes. These guys are just
These guys are the arsonists.
arsonists.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, and Tower Tom is a particularly, from what Viper told you, he likes burning down buildings for money. And he doesn't care if anyone gets hurt in the process because it's fun to watch him burn. Yeah, you from her briefing, you don't think he would respond. And also being in your vine monster form, you have a hard time. Well, you have to turn out of it to try to. You probably get disadvantaged trying to talk to someone. You're like,
I was thinking maybe like a little head came out of nowhere. It was really creepy. But okay, so
you could make a minion that like looked like a little like pixie that like climbed out of the vine and said, "Hey, I live in this magic tree."
Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I know this guy likes fire, so I'm gonna turn into a fire elemental.
Okay.
Turn him and I heard that you liked us some fire.
What's the?
I'm just gonna punch him with my flame attack hand, whatever kind of thing.
I'm just trying to find shapeshift. Is the boon normally a major action? What is it? Boon focus?
Boon focus 2.
Boon focus 2. Oh, 2. Oh yeah, it's one. It's one.
And hopefully I want to do a lot of damage.
Becomes a minor.
Persistent damage on him, leave him burning. That's the hope.
Okay, so yeah, so as your minor action, you shapeshift from the plant monster to the fire monster, and then what were you gonna do?
I kind of just, well, I would love to just like engulf him, but I feel like that would just be persistent damage, and that goes off agility. Doesn't really make too much sense. So I kind of just want to punch him with a damaging attack and see if I can put persistent damage on top of it.
Okay. I guess if you wanted to, you do it as like a melee hit rather than like a flame blast. You probably have to move like 5 foot over.
Yeah.
I guess I should say the motorcycle is really kind of on top of him, as it were. So move to here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's still threatening him, so I guess he doesn't get his. So yeah, he's roll as a damaging attack.
No, gotta remember Yates now. Okay. Oh, we're looking good. Oh, we're looking good, boys. Oh, kind of changed. 25.
21?
25.
25.
It was 24, and I had a D8 left. I was really hoping for like a 30 or something.
You hit him. You hit him for damage, but it's not enough to get any bane on top of that.
If I could I walk into his space as an elemental? I don't know.
No, I think you'd still have to do that in some game terms, like an area like the Ring of Flames. You're gonna do like an area attack, like around them or something like that.
Gotcha.
Maybe grapple.
Yeah, I think. I guess you could argue that, like, you would say I'm doing a melee attack, but the melee attack would be like some kind of grapple where you're just holding him in your burning, and then he could have to break out. I don't know. I guess we haven't really looked at.
Yeah. So like, if I did immobilize, would that come with persistent damage?
Yeah, I think per the rules you'd still have to take the Bane focus to be able to do that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's limited. Everything it's based off your imagination, but you still have to put on that the constraint of within the rules of the game. So, while in any case, you do some damage as you punch him in the chest with your flame hands. And shooting star.
Oh, knockdown would have been a good bane to put on.
All right, I'll take a 5-foot step to the right. Now, are all these guys? They're all knocked down, but are any of them incapacitated in any way, or just knocked down?
Literally just knocked down.
Okay.
These two guys, their last turn, they woke up from their incapacitate. So they're knocked down just because they just woke up and haven't stood up yet. He ran over and then you smacked him and knocked him down. So, they're this guy was awake. These guys just kind of woke up, but in game terms, they're all just prone.
And the other question I had was if we're in melee and they are prone, is that advantage for me or not advantage?
Yeah, it is advantage.
Advantage 1?
Yeah, that's the same as D&D and Pathfinder. If someone's prone, melee has advantage, range has disadvantage.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to attack number 34 for a damaging attack.
Okay. And the other option is to, even as melee, you could do a multi-target attack. You could attack 33 and 34. Normally that would be disadvantage 2 because you're attacking 2 targets, but the advantage for them being prone would cancel one of them out, so it would only be disadvantage 1.
Yeah, no, I'll just stick with
Or,
hitting
or
just
if you're
that
not,
one.
well, you did take a 5-foot step. So if you had stayed where you were, you could also do a focus action. That would cancel out another one of the disadvantages, and you could do just a straight up attack and hit both 33 and 34.
Can I do a focus attack and maintain my resistance?
No, you're right.
I
That
will not
would
do a
drop.
focus attack.
Yeah.
I got a total of 18.
Okay, this is, and it's like you connect, but the way they moved or turned, or just the brunt of their shoulder, it's like they like took the hit in some muscle tissue and it just kind of shook it off. So it's like the hit landed, but your sensitive spot of like necks and joints didn't quite land right. So
Okay.
you don't think it did any damage as it hit him.
Got it.
And besides, your minor to sustain, you want to do any minor or any other moving?
I'm not going to move anymore, but I'm just going to maintain the resistance.
Okay. And now it's back to the least again. Okay, thug number 3. Let's see if he goes sleepy time.
I'll also say we're not here for you so stay down.
Yeah. So and I think I didn't actually call it out in the last one before when you said like stay down and he kind of defiantly got up.
Right.
Like these 3 especially. I mean, the other 2 just woke up. Again, it's the litter thing. Like they'd never litter, but if you tell them not to litter, they'll immediately find something to throw away. They're spiteful in that way. So like the more you're trying to be even reasonable, the more like like you've had students like that, I'm sure. He tries. He does finally. That would have been funny if he was just night the whole time. But he does nothing else his turn because that was it. I'm gonna have to zoom out. Chalk here. Rosie is up next. Oh, this is Rosie's turn to sit it out. He's mulling it over. Is this worth potentially going to jail for? Or however much trouble you get into. The server. She's gonna do the same thing. She's looking at him, not doing anything, and she's still kind of like looking at him and looking around the room. Server of 2. Bartender 22. He doesn't have to make a. He didn't really do a demoralize on him. He is a little weirded out by you turning from plant to fire, but maybe he just thinks the plant had like alcohol all over it and it somehow ignited, so it's just a burning tree. But he's going to try to club you again. Taylor, you see, I think you're like the red shirt / what's the sacrificial or the checkoff. Like every Star Trek episode where something bad happens to someone, it's always Chekhov. Like Chekhov is the one that always ends up getting hurt. My die 20 and my die 8 both exploded.
All right, I think I might be out again.
Uh,
It's on for another 20.
I did roll a second 20.
Oh,
And I technically have to roll that again. That was not another 20, but
oh, the third 20.
oh my god! And I feel so bad because the last time you were sawing wood through so much of it. Plus 3 plus 8 plus 1. That's 53 total. Let's do the math just in case. Minus, you said 23 was your, or no, 21 was the guard because it's just a.
And I was at 21 health. So I think I'm out.
Equals that minus 21 health. Now that would be 11 under. So Taylor takes a bad knock to the head and just drops. Equals.
That bartender's really good with that club.
Oh, no, I had 20. You had 24 hit points. I mean, it's still.
Oh, I took 3 from something else.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, as far as the remaining, not the total. Okay. And you. Oh, and you. You're out. So we're. I don't know if we did that. It was just because you were asleep or you were actually. I think I said that. I think it was if someone did like incapacitate. That's when like all your stuff pops out of you or whatever because you're like outed. But just being down doesn't because that's too. It's like a double penalty.
Fair enough.
Well, I don't think I'm even going to hit anyone else because I just used up all my dice on poor Metamorph. Crap. Well, he looks just like bollards. That was bartender. 23 and 24 are also still not doing anything. Actually, 23 is going to run into the back. 30. Oh, the three musketeers here. All 3 of them are going to stand up, almost bolstered by seeing a giant flame guy go down. And 35 actually draws a gun and shoots at Lightning Man. This is. Oh, but he has resistance precise on him, so that's resistance. Is that? I think I just what adds 6 to your guard. I think.
Yeah, it makes my guard 24.
24. Okay, yeah. Thank that helps to make the math easier. Die explodes. 6, 9, and that's just not enough. So the bullet like would have hit, but it like disintegrates as it goes through your electricity field. As he misses and stands agape, I think afterwards he's going to move to here. 33 and 34 are going to take a hit at shooting star, and the same thing. It's what plus 6 to your guard. Or I guess what's your calculated guard with your resistance on there?
It's 25.
25.
Are they both using might?
These guys, yeah, both have clubs.
Okay.
Oh yeah. They should really change it up. So 35 should have charged Lars with his club, but he doesn't know that. So that's that plus just roll that 8. Shooting star. Number 33 misses. No, sorry, 34 misses, but 33 hits you for 10 points of damage, and which adds the stunned bane. Crap! Fight's turning the other way. Stunned. Oh,
Wow, he got a 35. Holy crap!
I had a 17 and then an 8, and then that exploded to another 8, and then that dice after that. So the die 20 was strong, and then I had 2 die 8 explosions on top of each other. This is stunned. Stunned is only at 4, so it's just 4. And that just means you get either a major action, a move action, or a single major, a single move, or a single minor. Your choice of the 3. And although if you choose to use your one action to resist it and you succeed, you get all your other actions back. And it's just a 10 or higher to resist. That was. There are 3 musketeers. Yes, and just Tower Tom. So the fire guy drops right in front of him. And 5, 15, 20, 25, 30. Oh, wait, he can move through him. 20, can't go around his bike. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. No, that's as close as he can make it. And it's not close enough to throw the bike. So I'll just do an additional move.
Wait, is Metamorph down?
Yeah, I rolled my die 20 exploded, and then I got another 20, so he had a 53 against him.
Well, that's like when I got hit.
It was there was nothing. I mean, sometimes if it's going completely one way, it's like, all right, I'll just make that not like 2 20s in a row. Like, fuck, Jesus. So someone's out for you. This is when I reveal that Gina has been slipping me side emails telling me to kill you off each time, so you'll stop playing to have more time to spend with her. And
all making sense now. I see.
That's it for them. So I mean, Tower Tom is basically walking up to you, Lightning Man. He still has the motorcycle over his head, but he hasn't thrown it yet because he doesn't have time in his turn. And we're back to top of the order with Blue Suit.
All right. Scott didn't want to listen. Oh, he didn't get up, did he?
I guess
he shook off the incapacitate, but he didn't get up.
Oh no, number
2.
he shook off the incapacitate, so he's conscious, but he's still laying on the ground.
All right.
I guess you can't really tell his demeanor from. Yeah, you can't really tell. He's kind of just coming to. Basically, you can't tell if he's like sullen and giving up or defiant. And but I guess maybe you play it safe. He's probably not giving up from the look of it.
No.
I mean, he has just committed probably several felonies. He is hiding out because he knows the police after him, and you're the police, so he's gonna do anything to try to get away.
All right. I'm just gonna do a. Oh, shooting! He's on the ground, mother fracker.
He is bloodied, so he is below a third in health.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, I was thinking about what I want to do, and if I try to shoot him, I'm at disadvantage. So.
Yeah, if you take a 5-foot step.
I'm gonna step up to him. Step up and try to thump him with my staff to basically. I'm just gonna do a damaging attack, hoping to knock him out. You know.
Okay.
So I guess that would be trying to hopefully roll enough to incapacitate.
Well, actually, you get advantage now.
Yeah.
Because it actually flips. Yeah, even the other way.
So the advantage is 2 20s or just another die 8?
Another die 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, the die 20 never
That'd be
never
awesome.
doubles.
It'd be like the best.
That would
ever.
be.
So I roll 2 die 8, I get an extra die 8. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, if you normally roll 2 die 8, you would roll 3 die 8 and take the 2 best.
Oh, that sucked. Oh, that's oh, it's a 9. Okay. The 2 best. Do your best. That's a huge 16 damaging attack.
Oh.
Way to crap on that one.
His guard is 17, so you swung it, and the pipes like landed like right next to his head.
Do I have to choose to use a legendary point before I want to use a legendary point, or before I know the result?
No, you can choose it after you make the roll, and the roll fails.
Okay, because I have a spare one sitting around. Put me down to 1. I'm gonna call it, which means I get to re-roll, right? How's that work?
That gives you advantage, so you would roll another die 8.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I basically did nothing.
Okay.
But I'm like, if you stand up, you're going back down again. I'm continuing that bravado of like, I've had your number this entire time. Don't stand up, dude. But I say it more professional.
Yeah, if you want to do, I think you said presence was your last week. If you want to just try to do a presence roll to try to reason with him, it's not a demoralize or anything. This is just the same thing with Rosie. Like, think this over.
Well, I worked with that one girl.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, natural 20. Didn't roll a 4. If I rolled a 4, I'd have been really happy. Let's see what I roll.
Well, it still explodes, so.
Yeah, the 20 explodes,
Yeah.
but the 4, I was hoping the 4 would, but you know. Oh. So that's a 41.
That's enough. So, I mean, you know, anytime you're doing this, like using your authority as the police, just saying like, please just submit. The difficulty is going to be different depending on the person.
Right.
So, someone like Viper, who was a bit, abused and, just needed that moment to say, do I really owe my life to these guys? Whereas say someone like Tower Tom, like, just he is never gonna, like, fuck that. Like, these guys, it's gonna be pretty high. You roll a 20 total and it's not gonna do it, but 40, yep. So he is essentially defeated. He's out of the fight. Jesus, that was a hell of a.
Yeah.
What was yeah, give a speech, sing a song, inspire an army, exert your force of personality, or have luck smile upon you. So you could take either of those as your. And you do, even though you missed, as I said, it missed by 1, so the pipe pretty much landed like an inch from his head, and maybe that was enough to tell him, all right, we've got to.
Right. Well, that's what I was saying. Like with my next level and my inventions, it's going to be to add advantage to my presence.
Yeah, the intimidator.
Yeah, the intimidation factor.
So, I mean, as far as the guys wearing the insignia, Tom is the only one still up. 1 and 2 are the other guys of this group. The rest of these guys, you've got essentially 2 guys working at the bar, well, 3 in theory, and then 3 just other generic bikers who are just pissed off at what's going on. And blue suit, that is Lightning Man.
Okay, I'm going to move to the right 30 feet.
Let's see.
That is going to give him an attack of opportunity.
I was
holding
gonna
a
say,
motorcycle over his head. How is that an attack of opportunity?
Because he has strength.
He's going to drop it on you.
He could just hit you. He has a melee weapon. What Kurt's saying is this guy is super strong.
So is it a melee weapon or a ranged weapon?
Well, considering I set up my own rules that he can only throw it about 5 feet in front of him, essentially within melee range, that's why he literally had to walk up to you and hit you with it. That's what I was just thinking over in my head. Can I consider this a ranged or a melee item? And I mean, consider all he has to do is just like this to drop it on you, almost like he's hitting you with it.
All right, then I will attack first.
I mean, if you were like running and he was having to like throw it like a
so
shot
Kurt,
put.
whoa, Kurt! I'm attacking to blind him, not to do damage.
Yeah, so you're doing a bane attack with the blind thing.
Correct.
Okay.
Ooh.
Invoke the Bane.
Better. 10.
Blinded 5.
22. So it's my energy versus his guard.
Guard, yeah.
So 22 is what my total was.
Blinded 5. The target cannot see as long as the effect persists. Target automatically fails any perception rolls based only on sight. Attack rolls and perception rolls partially on sight can be supplemented by another sense at disadvantage 5. The target's guard and defense is reduced by 3. So you hit him with your blind. You could move now, and
that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm moving to the right 30 feet.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm a high school football coach thinking strategy. Lars is Sun Tzu. Nope, got that. Gonna blind him first, then step back. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, he is now blinded, and you're now 30 feet away. You can use your minor to keep the resistance up, and you can use a minor for other things. That's something else you wanted to do.
Oh, that's it. Done. Staying quiet.
Even if he tried to do it by sound, you'd still have disadvantage 5.
Oh, blinded is pretty badass.
Yeah, and if he fails 3 times to resist, it's 1 minute. It is just a move action to resist, but I mean that's a pretty significant. I mean, if someone had a gun or something, you'd have to argue first that they would even be able to make the roll based on another sense, like hear someone's footsteps and take a shot. But disadvantage 5, that's pretty sick. I think that's one of the ones I'm using in my 80s adventure guy is blinded as one of his attacks.
Nice.
Actions.
Yeah, I've done a little bit more writing on that. I really have to get my ass in gear and get it going.
Metamorph is down. We skip goes to Shooting Star.
I think you walked away.
Oh.
I love it. You're just like, I'm gonna flip you off. Flip you off. Flip you off.
Eric, it's your turn.
Sorry, I had to run to the bathroom.
Yeah,
all right. Well, I will. First, I'm going to try to shake off the Bane with my minor action. And I do not. So I'm done.
Yeah, it was just a 10 or higher. And
yeah, I got a 7.
And and for that would be a move action for it, and that's the only one you get. If you don't make it, then your resistance also drops because you don't have the minor action to sustain it.
Right.
Send R1. And that comes to Rosie's turn, and I'm gonna roll. Mike, just give me a bear die 20 for story.
Okay.
Actually, to be fair,
oh, 1. Had to come around sometime.
That's okay. Between you're essentially what you're saying to him and the double grease and the demoralized, and his role here, which I also took the demoralized disadvantage into account. Oh, damn, I'm using the wrong keyboard again. He does give up. And with that, the server does as well. So if anything, he just kind of waves it off, and he starts walking towards the bathroom, like grabbing some towels to clean himself off. I mean, it's his place. Well, he's got nowhere to go anyways. There's no back door, but he seems resigned to his current situation. And 43, his turn just kind of goes, what the fuck, man? He's pissed because he's drenched in he can't even pick up his beer because the grease all over his stuff. That's Rosie and the server out. The bartender. Actually, the bartender is going to use his turn to stand over Metamorph and gloat, because he was this huge, scary vine monster / fire thing that almost scared the hell out of him, and he just beat him. So he's kind of like, yeah, I did it.
So I'm sorry. So Rosie actually stood down. I was like, all right, fine. I'm gonna let this basically like take its course, so to speak.
Yeah. So I mean, Rosie, from his reaction, he basically signals the hands like, all right, and then just walks towards the restroom to clean up.
To be fair, like he didn't actually assault anyone, so there's no reason for us to bring him in.
Yeah, well, I guess that's true too. And the server is kind of watching him, and she went off him, so he stops.
It's like damage done. I shot a bunch of grease that they're gonna have to clean up. So
yeah. Actually, as far as damage done to the whole place, it's in a way, other than some grease, there's really no tables, windows broken yet.
If I was a different character, I'd pick this thug who just surrendered and throw him out the window just to make a point. But I'm not that character.
24 just steps to here, but stays. He's pretty much committed to not doing anything. That was 23 and 24, technically out. Why do I have 36 on my board? Oh, there's 36. He's still in the bathroom. I'll say he's having one hell of a shit back there.
Probably heard all the commotion and he's hiding.
Yeah, I guess the window. I probably could have heard the noise. Yeah. I'm gonna say he's just sitting there taking a big shit, reading the newspaper. All right, that was 22, 33, 34, 35. I'm gonna do the same thing. 35 again is gonna take a shot at Lightning Man. Same thing. Actually that bullet just goes wide, so 35 completely misses you there. 33 and 34 are again gonna attack Shooting Star.
My guard is now 19.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's true. I was gonna say I don't think stun does anything, but the resist being gone does something. Misses. This I think I was right. I burned up all my 20s on Taylor. A 5 and a 1. He definitely misses. Those 34 and 35 both swing completely wide. It's almost like they connected a really good hit and threw you, and then they kind of got overconfident. Like, yeah, we're awesome, and now they lost their focus. They choked almost mid-fight. And Tower Tom is just going to try to resist his blind, which he does with a 10. That was his move action. So he's going to use his major action just to move. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And back to the top of the order of the blue suit.
Okay, now that the inside's handled,
Take these off.
I'm going to move to here.
One more and you'd get flanking.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
on 33.
Oh, yeah, because I don't have to worry about that. That's right. Opposite day. As I bust the doors open, I'm not even trying to be stealthy. I'm like, you all better stand down. Everyone is incapacitated inside. And then this number 33, I'm just going to freaking do a staff attack and hope that I do. I only have to get 5 over his toughness because of my staff. So I'm just going to try and do a damaging attack and hope that I get a knockdown.
Okay, yeah, the staff has something on it, which is the same as
all of my items have the baneful property, which means I only need 5 instead
same
of
as a
10.
Bane focus.
Yeah, it's not as expensive, which is kind of nice, but you can only do so many. You can only do 1 Bane per item, which is. So
That's one of the other actually, and I think I forgot it to do it this time too. That's one of the other things they put in for the bad guys is you can give them all a Bane, which always happens, like every time they attack.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just do that on the big guy. I totally forgot about that again.
So the roll is a 27 to hit my agility versus his toughness. So if that's 5 over, it will knock his ass down.
Sorry, what was it total again?
27.
27 minus. This is 33.
Oh, and I'm flanking. Is that advantage or is that?
That is advantage. So just roll another die in there.
Yeah. 1 sec.
These guys are a little bit tougher.
Roll an 8. No. Didn't matter.
Okay, it's 27. It's still enough to throw a Bane on there. And, oh, you said knockdown?
Knockdown, yeah. And it's pretty much all of you stand. It's the authoritarian. Like all of you stand down. Rosie stand down. I've incapacitated your buddy. Well, the other thug's already down. We're only here for the Golden Eagles. We're not here for you because you attacked in a cop. You're only making your situation worse because we are taking you in. You are not winning.
I guess you'd try a
Same thing.
Persuasion check.
Same one, yeah. Let's see if I can.
Well, this time persuasion instead of presence.
Persuasion is still, yeah.
Or if it's the same. The other ones where you're using your like authoritarian. This one is you're persuading them. Like Rosie's already given up. The whole inside. Right.
Come on, man.
Kurt, shouldn't the knockdown be on 33, not on blue suit?
Yep. Thank you. The guy who
down. I did explode a die.
Not the guy who did it.
I did explode a die. This is nice.
He dealt it. He didn't smelt. The other guy smelt it.
All right, I'll take it. 9, 6, so 25. I rolled actually pretty well.
25. No one. You give a persuasive pitch, but no one seems to buy it.
Right, they're still.
They don't seem to scoff it outright, but none of them seem any sign of giving in. Imagine the DC must be difficult for.
They're in the middle of battle. They hate cops. I mean, I get that. 2 of us have essentially. One's been incapacitated and one is down, so I can see they're like, oh, we got the advantage here. We're going to totally do this. But
yeah.
I was trying to go with the bravado of, I took out everyone inside, you motherfuckers. Now you pissed me off.
And Lightning Man.
I'm going to do a damaging attack against Tower Tom. 35.
So
Yeah. Yeah, exploding dice.
you definitely do damage. He is injured, so below 2/3, and you get to throw your 2.
Stunned and persistent
Yeah,
damage.
it's enough for your normal combo, but it's also high enough if you wanted to do one of your other banes. Well, I guess in that case it would only be one of them, so you'd want to do two.
What?
Normally, if you do over 5 damage, you can throw your 2 banes on it. This one you did over 10, which would give you access to your other banes. But if you want to do 2, you still have to only pick those 2 that are bound together.
Yeah. So, yeah. Stunned and persistent damage. And
what would make the motorcycle drop on top of him?
That's what I was just thinking about now. Stunned. I think it would have to be something like an incapacitate where the bane means he can't hold on to it. Like stun would mean persistent damage, he's gonna take some more damage. Stun means he can only do so many things. I think on his turn it would have to be, if you wanted to like
single major action.
Yeah, in game terms, I'm thinking like, what would holding on to the motorcycle be? He's strong enough. It's basically just like he's holding a weapon. So it's stunned isn't like D&D or Pathfinder. When you get stunned, you drop everything you're holding. Yeah, I don't think that's the case. So I think he'd still hold the motorcycle. He just couldn't do much with it. So you hit him. You did do these two. He is still holding the motorcycle despite being invisible pain. If you want to now use your move to
move into there.
Whoop. All right, and that would definitely do that. And shooting star.
I'm gonna try to shake it off.
Okay, using your move action to try to resist the bane, need a 10 or higher.
And I got a 6.
Oh, that's 2 fails. I think the third is a minute.
Yep.
Yes, 3 is a minute. Let's see. Right, and then that was your whole turn, so that's everything there. And down to these guys. I'll start at the top. 22.
Bartender's going to do a finishing blow.
Yeah, I thought about that too. Only certain types of characters would be a finishing blow. I mean, like Rosie's one step down. He'll get into a fight, but as soon as like guns come out, or it's going to be like a death, he'd give up. I think most people they'd fight until they got downed, but then or if they down, like as long as they took a cop out, but to like actually stand there and like stick a knife in his throat, that's like first-degree murder. You're going to the
killing
chair.
A cop in front of another set, like other cops.
Yeah, that's kind of. Someone would really have to be, like if 22 had cancer and he knew he was dying next week, then maybe he might. I think if that was the case, I would state something at the beginning of the encounter, like this is a bad encounter. If you go down, there is a danger of you not getting back up. That kind of thing. Or basically Eddie in any of his games. A couple of you guys would have like died. I think, although there is something to be said for the excitement of having those rules in place. You make a second character, you set it aside, you go back to playing the game, and
oh, he's merciless.
Something to that,
So he's totally merciless then.
For him, the rules are the rules. Like if someone or I don't even know the technically the game. I think it doesn't really do the negative points. Like, oh, if it's negative, your fortitude, you're dead or something. In theory, no matter what damage they do, you're just down, and someone has to do a finishing blow. But I don't know if in any of those deaths they actually did a finishing blow, or if it was. I mean, if they hit you and they go, down to 0 health and then down for another 50 points or something, it's like you're just gone. That's been the case. I'm trying to think now. I mean, Taylor died once, although that was a little bit unique. And then, actually, did the other two guys die, or did they just decide to switch characters?
I think that
I
was
think
just switch
Ben
characters.
decided to switch characters because it wasn't working out for him play style wise. And actually, I think the other Anthony, I think he also switched characters. I thought someone else died though, but now John and I were.
I went out to go find some meat, and some wolves killed me because they rolled like a 50-something. I think they rolled a 20 into a 20 into something else.
Yeah,
like,
when the wolves, the giant wolves, found you.
Well, fuck me.
Well, I think it was you were like, I'm gonna go leave the camp to try to find some food, and then
It
he
was my
said,
fault.
"How far from the camp?" Like expecting 30 feet, 50 feet, and Taylor's like a mile and a half, and he's like a mile and a half, and then that's when the wolves came.
And then when I said mile, that's when I was dead.
Yeah, that could have been. But anyways, what am I doing here? 22. Okay, 22 runs over, and he's gonna try to smack the blue suit.
Is he punching, or is it precise, or is it
This is forceful.
forceful? So my suit has the +1 to my toughness because he's doing forceful damage. It's
it's guard.
It's
so
armor.
Normally you have a 19 guard, but it would be a 20 with.
Correct. Let me double check that. I'm pretty sure
Okay,
it has
yeah.
resist.
Yeah, I remember you had that, but I.
Yeah,
It counts as armor. Which one's the armor?
That's what I get for putting everything in German, and I can speak some German.
Yeah.
Damn. Where is it? I find it by resistance forceful.
Yeah. Guard goes off of armor.
Yeah, my suit persistence 5 forceful, persistent resistance when it's on. So that's So I have persistent resistance to forceful.
And that's whatever the resistance level is. It's just +1 essentially.
Yeah, it's just +1. So I'm at a 20 for my guard.
Yeah, and that's enough. So he like hits the back of your coat, and it doesn't do any damage.
Yeah, because that guy's knocked down. He doesn't get advantage, right?
This was 22. 33 hasn't done anything yet.
No. My point was, he's flanking. I didn't know if he got advantage for flanking.
Oh, for the flanking. No, he's prone, so he doesn't get the flanking. I actually forgot, but that happy accident because he doesn't. 35. He's still got something on for. These bikes are all down, so he has a shot from here. Takes another shot at Lightning Man and misses horribly. Let me see if he actually hits one of the bikes. He does! He misses Lars and he hits the pristine bike. So Tower Tom he's no longer blind, so he it's not his bike, this is his bike, but he does hit his buddy's really beautiful bike. So Tower Tom turns to 35 and is like, dude, what the fuck? 33.
Does he then throw the bike at him?
I don't know. Maybe he's not quite that. His desperation outweighs his pride and anger in this case. 33 stands up and also is going to smack the blue suit. Try to. Same thing, forceful. And again, a 20 is just not enough. So your coat saved you in both of those. 34 is still going to smack. Try to smack Eric. This one guy better. That one. You said your guard was 19? Or, yeah, 19 without the resist?
Correct. Correct.
It's 3 points of damage. Oh,
Okay.
so tough. And Tom. Oh, it's the beginning of Tom's turn. Lars, roll your 1d6, I think, damage for the persistent damage. 1d4, or persistent damage 2 for 1d4. And it does explode just in case you get a 4. And you're on mute if you're talking before.
I'm talking to myself over here. 3.
3 damage. He is not quite bloodied. Tom is not quite bloodied, but near 2. It is his turn. He can only do one thing. He's going to try to resist the stunned, which he does not. Now I have to decide. I'm going to say for trying to shake the stunned, he's going to drop the bike. You're exerting yourself so much, and the fact that he's basically carried this motorcycle all the way around and still has not been able to throw it at anyone. So, in frustration, he basically just drops the bike since he failed his stun roll, and that is it for him. 33, 34, 35, and back to blue suits.
All right. Motherfucker. I can't assist anyone because I got these assholes here. Knock that guy down. I'm going to.
And 34 is bloodied, and 33 is injured. The rest of the guys seem to be
Right.
hurt
So
decent.
I'm gonna staff out gun. The hit. I'm gonna turn to the guy behind me, almost just looking at him. Not this is my minor action. Just look at him, like, oh, you annoyed me, Matt, with that freaking punch. Like, yeah, I'm more than I look like. Kind of like, come on, man. And then the guy in front of me. I'm just trying to get Eric. I can't move because I'll move. I'll get an attack of opportunity.
You do have advantage to hit him with melee.
Right. So I am just going to do a damaging attack with my staff on 33 and hope to get the baneful attack to knock him down again. This is
And the same things I said to Eric, if you don't need a minor to sustain anything. If you're not moving, you could do a focus action to get advantage. You could also do a multi
Well, I
attack.
already have advantage. Oh, I can do multi attack?
Yeah, so normally this would be disadvantage 2 to try to hit both of these guys. I guess it's hard when only one of them is flanking. If you did a focus action,
be a straight
I would
roll.
say it would be a straight up a roll for him and disadvantage 1 for him.
Okay, let's do that then. So I'll do straight up roll and I'll take the disadvantage. So I'll try to hit both.
Yeah, so roll a disadvantage and we'll only apply it to one of them. The rest of the die roll will apply to both.
Right.
And with the staff, that makes sense. You're spinning it around. You can clock 2 guys.
How awesome was that? My lowest of the 2 die 8s were 5s, and I exploded on the other one. So for the one guy, I can't use the 8, but for the one guy I can, right?
Yes.
Okay, so for the guy behind, so number 22, my roll is 24, but for the other dude, he about to get hit. For the other dude, it's gonna be more.
With 28, with the 5 to the 8.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So that's a reroll. So the 8. So the other dude, it's 13. But I rolled an 8, so I get to roll another one. So 13.
Oh yeah.
27. 31. So the guy in front of me is dropping like a fucking sack of potatoes. The guy behind me, you got the roll, so it was at 24. So the guy in front, it was 30. 31.
31. That's that much. And this is the one that has the baneful on it. So if you get over 5, you get to throw a bane.
Yeah. My staff has baneful, so it's like got an extra little hook at the bottom of it, so it like helps with knocking people down. That's the story.
Okay, so you hit 33, and he folds. He just goes down because he was already on low on the nearly bloodied. 22 is you also hit him. He is now injured, so he's below 2/3, and you get to throw a bane on him.
So he gets knocked down.
Oh, do the knockdown? Okay.
Yeah. That was my focus. Yeah, that's my focused action, and I'm sticking with it.
All right, smack.
Are you not entertained?
And Lightning Man.
Yeah, I'm gonna zap Tom again.
Okay.
Nice. 25. 25.
You hit him for damage, but it's not enough to get the banes. Well, actually, I guess it wouldn't matter because
Doesn't matter.
he's already got those ones. Let's see. Tom is now bloodied. He's below 2. He's below 1/3. With that hit.
Nice.
Let's see.
I'm just gonna move. I'm gonna continue to move to the right. Is that? Can I move to that half square back there? Is that another building, or is that just?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna move to there.
Basically, Vizio goes by pages. That would just be the next page. So yeah, it's further down the street. I just haven't mapped it all out. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
You can go further if you want to. I don't want to constrain you by the limits of the map.
Yeah. Send me a couple more squares.
5, 10, 15.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
15. Okay. All right, and Shooting Star.
All right, I'm gonna go for the last resist. 14!
Oh, that would have been bad. That would have been
Yeah,
really
it would. All right.
It would have been down 2 guys. That was your move action. You have all your minors and your major actions.
I get to use a minor action because of the focus and put my resistance back on.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use my major action to smack number 34.
Well, or the resistance. Did you have Bane Focus or Bane Focus 2?
For that one, I have Bane Focus 2.
Focus. Yep, you do. So yep. No, that's fine. It was one. Right. It's a major to put it on, and then a minor to sustain. But you're all set.
Yep. So I got.
And I'm guessing you're doing the forceful again.
Yes.
So far, everyone is using force except for 35, who does have a gun out.
Right.
And then also again 34, and Tom are both bloodied.
Right.
And 22 is injured.
I got a total of 21 on number 34.
On 34. And he goes down. Minus.
Poor Taylor. He shows up, throws does one of these, and then just goes, bam.
I have to make it up to him the next fight. I think.
I thought I was going to do that. I'm down to 5.
I don't know. Maybe going forward, if you go down in a fight, the next 2 fights, you can't get explosions on you or something like that. Especially considering that sometimes people don't even play. So like next time Taylor won't be able to make it, and then the next time after that he'll go down and be like,
Of course.
Yeah. I think that's what happened to Mike the last time. He was stuck in the car because of the rules. He couldn't move forward, so he was basically out of the fight. And then the very next one, he got taken out. So it does seem to happen in twos. That was shooting. Okay, that was shooting star. No, he uses his move, so that's everything. So that goes back to these guys. These guys are both out. 22. He just stands right back up in defiance and comes right back. Actually, yeah, no, he does stand up, but he drops his club and pulls out a gun. It's like he's pissed now, or he's bloodied, or not. He's not bloody. He's injured, and he's not thinking rationally. 18. He misses you by 1, so he takes a shot, and it like whips right by your tuft of hair flips as the bullet goes by, maybe a little bit over Shooting Star's head, and then it lodges in the building next door. That's 22, 35. Lars is pretty far away. 35 is going to turn and shoot at Shooting Star. Resist, so you still have the 19 to piercing. Or not piercing, precise. I rolled 2 6s. The one on the 20 is garbage, but the other one does explode. And I rolled another 6. That explodes. 19 on the nose. Hits Shooting Star for 3 points of damage, the minimum. And Shooting Star is not looking too good.
Oh, I've got 2 left.
I had 10 plus 3 plus 3.
Run away! Run away!
Oh, current hit points too. Okay, yeah. I saw 11%. Oh, this is close. Tom. Oh, Lars roll persistent damage on Tom.
My foresighter seems to be stuck on 3.
Oh, that's still not bad.
Yeah.
And he is still bloodied. And he is going to try. He's going to use his 1 move action to try to resist that. With a 6, that's a whole bunch of 6s I just rolled in a row. Is not enough. Oh, that's it. I can't do anything else. Everybody else is gone. Blue suit.
All right, I'm looking even more annoyed at asshat number 22, and I'm basically gonna click the button that clears my chamber and kind of like do one of those like underneath shots. And I'm just gonna do a damaging attack with my gun, hoping that I get the potent bane to force move his dumbass away from me. Load, damn it.
2. I think this is
thing
versus
about
guard.
tabletop simulators, every once in a while the servers just go to shit. Okay, but
Yeah,
nice thing
force
is
move
that
versus guard.
it auto saves everything. So that's this, and this. Load, fire. How is it that? What? So the total on that one is 21. So a damaging attack probably doesn't do 5 over.
It does do 5 over exactly.
Okay, then he's moved back 10 feet.
Okay. Oh.
and taking damage.
And he did take damage. He's still just injured, just below 2/3.
So yeah, so what I'm gonna do with him moving back 10 feet, 1, 2, I am going to 5, 10, 15, 20, change my color. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Move over to Metamorph just to be near him. Oh, yeah. So I'll be on the top, no, the bottom bollard. So in between the two. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Moving over there, I know I can't assist on this turn, but it's basically I'm going to attempt to assist.
Okay.
Hoping that Shooting Star will help. And I'll call out like Shooting Star, yeah, I got him over there, take that asshole out, basically. I know he's got to deal with the other patron and stuff, but I'm pointing to the guy like I just shot him back, and I'm like, go for him. I'm trying to get back I'm trying to get Metamorph back up again.
Okay. And
I'm reaching out.
Yeah, they need that like some of the games where you can get someone back up quickly if you get them within like one round, but then other than that, then it takes longer to res them. Lightning Man.
I'm gonna do another damage attack against Tom.
Okay.
That was good. 23. Thanks to the exploding dice.
It is not enough to throw a Bane on, but it is enough to drop him. Exactly. 4 points of damage. Boy, I never got to drop that motorcycle on anybody. I was thinking like, he's gonna run in. He just picked it up and started chasing everyone around the level with his motorcycle.
Yeah, I didn't want that shit on.
Tom, we hardly.
I kind of just imagine him doing like fee fi fo fum, just trying to follow Lars.
I'm moving back to the left 30 feet.
Okay. 15, 20, 25, 30.
And I'm done.
And Tower Tom is the name of one of the raiders in Fallout 4. I think he's the one that has the Beantown Brewery as his base.
Oh yeah.
I just always thought it was a
Tinker Tom.
fun name.
Wait, was it Tower Tom or Tinker Tom?
No, it was Tower Tom.
Oh,
Well, Tinker Tom is another character. He was the guy that worked at the railroad. He had all the conspiracy theories. We worked for the railroad. He developed all the tech and stuff.
I don't think I ever met Tower
was the name
Tom.
of just one of the nondescript raiders that you kill when you take out the Beantown Brewery. That was Lightning Man, and then Shooting Star. Sorry.
All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is use my minor action to put on precise resistance.
Okay.
Instead of the other one, since the other two are using pistols.
Yep.
And then I'm going to
Yeah.
use one of my legendary points to get advantage on number 35. And I'm going to pull up my pistol and shoot him.
Okay.
And
then
so,
are you? Oh yeah, sorry, you're not doing the focus action. Never mind, because you're keeping up your resistance.
Right. So that's a total. Now, with the legendary, it just gives you advantage. It doesn't
one
add
advantage on it.
Points from a die. Okay. So I got 19 on him.
Okay. That's that's enough. Does damage to him. He's still. What was it before? Oh yeah, this is 35. He's the one that's not too hurt. He's not quite injured yet, so he's still above. He's been hurt twice, but he's still above 2/3. And Shooting Star Bartender. Bartender's gonna take a shot at Blue Suit.
I had to watch out for that bartender.
This guy has die 6. And that explodes.
Oh boy.
Why did I delete this? Does 5 points of damage to the blue suit.
Dick.
What's going on? And 35.
Was that 22 that did that?
22 took a shot at you there. $35. I'd say he'd shoot at shooting star. He's the one he's been focusing on. 17. 17 misses. And back to blue suit.
Amidst his bullshit, I'm going to minor action deploy my shield, which gives me precise resistance because he's shooting, and I'm going to try to heal Metamorph with my logic, which is like,
Okay.
man, you can get up, blah blah blah.
My savior.
And what's your logic skill? Or I think that's what, the 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're essentially, you're going to roll for power level 6, and if you roll too low, you'll just heal him at a lower rate. So just roll, and I'll figure out the difficulty.
21.
20. So 4.
21, which is
Power level 4.
power level. I show 5 for difficulty. Yeah. A 20. You need a 20 for power level 5, so you can heal him for 2 dice 6.
Okay.
And those explode too. So if you get any 6s, he gets that.
10 10 healed. High 5.
Oh shit. Back in the game. Thank you.
Equals.
And I tell asshole who just shot at me to stand the fuck down.
So you are back in, although you've got. Oh, I deleted all my.
I think I'll immediately tell you to watch out for the bartender because he has like powers or something.
Yeah, that's your excuse, but I'm not buying it.
Yeah, he's secretly. Oh, the club he had. It's a frost club. That's why it's enchanted with like cryo powers, so that it did double damage to your thing.
But of
Actually,
course, when we pick it up, it's not going to have that.
I think I just had a generic nondescript item. If he just had some, it turned out it was a fire extinguisher. You could say that he's been clobbering because he's a bartender. He just grabbed the fire extinguisher, wang, wang. He's hitting everybody. He turns into fire. He just blows the thing on, puts Sailor out, and he's down. Just covered in like white powder. Or he just peed on him and put his flames out.
Pee attack. That's a new one.
All right, so he's back with that. That was blue suit's turn. Yeah, and then we're at Lightning Man.
Wow, it goes a lot faster when there's so many less guys there. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna zap 35.
Okay. Damaging attack on number 35.
Hopefully really hard because she's been annoying. Oh, or not. 9.
9 is not the.
Yeah, it's not good.
Roll a 1 die 20 for story. Oh.
17.
That beats mine. You hit Tom's bike.
Okay.
As it gets the black carbon scoring all across the right side of the bike. And Lightning Man. Yeah, Metamorph. Revenge.
Exactly. I have it out for this bartender, but I'm also really afraid of him. So I'm just gonna stay in cover, and I'm gonna just launch a bowling ball straight at him.
Okay. I mean, you are prone. If you want to, if like say a 5-foot step this way, I would actually give you like a bonus to guard being behind the bollard.
Oh yeah, I'll
I
do
mean,
that.
Mike wasn't exactly prone, and he kind of had a shot on him. So if you do stay prone and you are like actually behind, well, I guess it's a little. It's gonna give you some. I'll wing as far as how much. I guess I should have made the little circle. Well, and the bollard wouldn't fit. Oh well, the word bollard.
Oh my god, I rolled another 2. So that the D8s might save me. No, they keep rolling down.
See, I think Gina gave you weighted dice too to make you roll really bad.
Okay, I rolled a 1 and a 2 on the D8 and a 2 on the D20, so that's a 5.
5 total.
And yes, Lars, I do live at a train depot.
Again, give me just a bare die 20 for flavor.
Oh, that time I can roll 17.
Yeah, the bowling ball is embedded in this shitty motorcycle. Like it's like dented the side of the gas tank.
Perfect.
And shooting star.
All right. I am going to. Oh, did you have something else, Eddie? Oh, Taylor?
Oh, I was just gonna say thank you to Blue Suit. Really, that was it. I think.
All right. I'm going to take another shot at 35.
Okay.
All right. Ooh, I got an 8. So that's going to explode. Wow. Let's see. 38.
Jesus. He was at 70% health, and now he is at 0.
Nice.
So you had 21 points of damage to him, and he had 14 hit points left.
That's awesome.
Plus 21. He is at negative 35%.
I'll sustain my resistance, and I'm going to move to the left 5, 10, 15, 25.
Okay.
And I'll call out, you're the only one left. Drop it.
Okay. Give me a persuasion, deception, or presence.
If he drops his pants,
Actually, he can't really do deception. Well, it's not. He can't. He can. I mean, that is his flaw. So he'd have to invoke the flaw if he would try to deceive someone and then fail. We've got the place surrounded. Actually, we don't. If I'm honest, there's only 10 of us. Dude, shut up. All right, we're coming out. Wait, what? No, we're staying in.
Yeah, I only have a 20-sider for any of those, so I'm going to just roll it.
Okay.
And it's a 10.
Okay. I've got to say, it doesn't appear to have much a factor. He can comment on his own. Well, actually, yeah, that's your turn. It's his turn next. He's just all wrath and piss and vinegar. Or what do you call it? I'm missing my words. He's not happy. Nothing is going to make this guy give up. He's gonna die or die trying, or get arrested or die trying.
Roid rage.
Oh, he doesn't have a clear shot on Metamorph. Well, he has clear shots on 2 of you. Now, Lars, Lightning Man's kind of ways out there. So 50-50 for you two. I'll say blue for blue, orange for shooting star. Oh, he goes for blue suit. Well, you both have resists. Rack. That's +6 to guard.
Yeah, my shield's out, so I have a resist versus piercing, or whatever it is. Yeah.
I think that gives you a 25 guard against precision. Because it's 19 +6.
No, why would it be +6?
Oh, sorry, maybe I'm thinking of invisible.
No. Yeah, no. It's just +1. It just I can do now. I have resistance against forceful and the other one because when the shield's out, it's only resistance.
Sorry. Resistance is at power levels 3, 5, 7, and 9. Resistance at power level 3 is +3 to the chosen attack type. Power level 5 is +6. I think Eric is doing it at power level 5.
Oh shit! My resistance.
Yours is probably
no.
only
My
3.
resistance is 5.
It is 5, yeah.
Yeah.
So you do have a +6. Okay, so it's +6 to all your defenses against precision damage
Damn.
attack. So you have a 25 guard.
That's pretty insane.
And that's not going to do it. Why couldn't I roll the 8 on the 8 instead of on the die 20? Like I said, I used all my 20s on Taylor.
What do you see? There's Kurt. There's Kurt over there. Why do you attack my dad?
Named him her.
Oh, that's Brutalitops. She is Brutalitops.
She doesn't know to look into the camera yet.
Yeah, she's got the Bowie eyes. She's got a blue eye and a yellow eye.
Yeah, that's it. 22 took a shot at blue suit, and it pranged right off of your shield.
Armband shield.
Armbandschild.
Armbandschild.
Yeah, back to blue suit. You can see it in his eyes. This is the guy who's like on PCP and is not gonna. There's no reasoning with him.
Okay. Then I will. Then I will shoot. I want to let's just be smart about this. Minor action. I'll switch out to my glue cartridge because I have another shot of that, and I will shoot him. An attempt to invoke. Slow demoralize. Where is it?
Can you make it so he can't shoot?
I can incapacitate him. Yes.
Well, there's also does any things do disarm? Well, incapacitate would do that too, but
yeah.
disarm would also.
I'm going to attempt to invoke incapacitation with my shot. That's that.
And actually, if you do incapacitate him, all Shooting Star has to do is run over to him and cuff him, and he's done.
It's pretty much what I'm trying to do. Ooh, it exploded.
Actually, and when someone is incapacitated, you can do a finishing blow on them. So, I mean, essentially, again, it's the same thing as shooting someone. You can shoot him without actually killing him. So, I mean, you can choose to say, I am actually killing this guy, or no, I'm just doing it to knock the guy out.
28.
28, and that's versus guard or toughness. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. That's enough. He's incapacitated, which means he's down. Or he's incapacitated. Shooting Star runs over, cuffs him,
yep.
and
Gonna
or finishing blows him, and then he's down. All right, and that's all she wrote for.
Yeah. So I'll instruct
Lars, cuff Tom.
Anyone that attacked us or assaulted us is going in.
Yep.
But Rosie, I'll make a point to say, sorry about the mess. You made the right decision. We only wanted these guys, and we're gonna take in. Yeah. So that's my side of it from a story perspective. I'll let the other guys do what they want to do.
Great. Anyone else? Anything else you want to do?
I'm booking this bartender.
I mean, the assumptions are essentially we're out of combat. You would have walked to the nearest Wachtkasten or the police box at whichever corner, called in the paddy wagon. Everyone who was downed, you would all cuff and secure. As Mike said, obviously the patrons who weren't, or the bartenders who didn't take any action would essentially, wouldn't be any charges to press, and they would help cart everyone else away. So the scene is secured, and you can see, whatever you have your run of the place.
I want to make sure we impound all the bikes from the
Okay.
people who attacked us, especially the guys from the gang.
All right.
Quickly take a bowling ball out of one of those motorcycles.
Well, hopefully it's one of the motorcycles of one of the guys that attacked us, 34, 33, and 35.
Yeah, so not just the. I mean, obviously you're going to be impounding those orange bikes, but yeah, essentially finding the bikes of. You'd have to file a police report anyways, even if you were just arresting them. They'd have to say, well, that was my bike. It'd have to be taken anyways to be held just for them. And then on top of that, because you're pressing charges to be impounded, they have to pay further fees to get it out of a hawk, as it were.
And I want to make sure if 22 has a motorcycle here, we take that as well.
Right, and because he was an employee of the place.
Yep.
Let's see. Mike, give me a persuasion. Let's see, persuasion or presence. I think you said presence was your better one,
They're both
just
the
for
same.
your post conversation with Rosie. Who actually this guy is in here taking a shit. He just busted the door down and is using this thing.
Not a bad roll. That is a dirty 20.
Okay. And let me just do story roll. Yeah. So after the whole fight, you basically say to him, well, yeah, we're not after you, sorry for the damage or whatnot, but you make the point of, yes, the guy, you're all rowdy, you like fighting the authority and stuff, but you push that point home. Like, these people have kidnapped someone. He is being held somewhere, possibly dying, possibly being tortured. This is why we're pulling these guys in right now. And he concedes to that. So, if these guys had just burnt down some abandoned building, he might argue with you, but he has that, like, whoa, kidnapping, like, all right,
we're not looking to bust balls here. We're not walking into the joint.
Yeah, at the same time, you're saying you're going to put in a word that he didn't really. I mean, people started a fight. He's the owner. He comes running out of the back ready to clock someone. That's understandable. You're putting in a word for him anyway. So
right. That's the implication to him is that when you ran out of that room, you were like, "There's a fight. I gotta break this stuff up. I own this bar, etc." I'm going with the underlying. That's why you ran out and were ready to attack. Because the second I glued you this, or I greased you the second time, you're like, maybe I shouldn't get in the middle of this. So it's that whole, yeah, okay, I'll give you this one, even though he probably was like, I'm looking forward to punching a cop. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you can go gray area there. So
yeah. So it's not just because of his anti-authoritarian nature. He's not one to actually become an informant, but he is receptive to you. So if something else happened in town and you showed up here and said, "Hey, can we ask you a question?" He would listen to you. He wouldn't just kick you out outright. So it's that whole like faction thing. It's not quite enough to tip over the DC to turn him to an informant would be pretty high, but he's at least positive to your particular group. If other cops showed up, he'd still tell them to take a hike. But if you all showed up in like a week from now and say, "Hey, we need some help. Have you heard of so and so?" he might be conducive to listening. Is there anything else anyone else wants to talk to or comment on or see what you're going to do? And I mean, not that there's necessarily has to be anything.
no, I'm good.
That makes sense. The impounding the bikes, you've pretty much arrested everyone. When you get back to the station, you're filing your reports, you're locking away these guys, you're getting the other guys in, Tom and the rest of them in interrogation. So now you're within the confines of the police station with them locked up. You now can do your interrogation of them. So
Start with the underling. Don't start with Tom. More likely to get the information from him.
you can also split them up if you want to.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so you got 3 guys, and of the other, so we'll say, essentially the guys you're dealing with. I'll make a copy of these. obviously Tom is the boss. Number one is kind of a lieutenant. He's a little bit more competent and trusted, but not not super smart still. And then number two is just kind of your dumb type. And actually, I can take you guys
Number 2, me lord.
as well to just put over here. And I'll just keep initiative order so you can roll through metamorph shooting stuff. If you just want to say, like you said, you would have them split up in different rooms by default, but you could do them together or separate. If you want to say who's going to talk to who, in what order, and when, and we'll just do rolls. And I think same thing. I think you could do deception, persuasion, or presence. Any of the social skills, it's your choice. And you would have advantage 3 because of they've already been defeated by you personally, and they're currently locked up, and they're just in a police station. It's the setting, and they're facing significant charges, and complying with you may ease the charges. So that's enough to give you advantage 3 on any of your social rolls.
I'll work on filling out the reports while you guys interrogate.
Yeah, between Blue Suit, Lightning Man, and Metamorph, Metamorph has deception of 2, Lightning Man has a presence of 2, Blue Suit has a persuasion and a presence of 2, at least as far as what I've got. So you're all pretty much the same as your capabilities.
It's too bad Ramos and Alma Dieter aren't here, because
they could have just
people that have that shit.
Almost pressed a button. And you can either go in individually or go in as with 2 and then have one aid the other instead.
I'm just gonna throw this out there, but maybe we could do like, if you rat on the other guy, then you'll get out for free,
While you do have, so police are allowed to use deception in interrogations, but when it comes to actual, like whatever you're promising, what the charges are, those specifics you can't, because that's under the purview of the DA, and you can't really speak for them. But I mean, you could fairly say, like, if you complain, if you help with us, we'll go lenient on your sentence, or the police will recommend leniency in your report. You couldn't claim that one of them would be let go or only get 6 months or something like that.
I mean, it's all gonna be based upon our roles anyway. I don't know. Thug 2 was the one I demoralized the shit out of.
Yes.
So I'm going to be primary. I want to talk to him first, hoping that I get some sort of an advantage because I made him look like a goddamn fool.
It could go either way. You could get an additional advantage because you were the one that actually just absolutely embarrassed him, or he could just be obstinate because you embarrassed him. Sure. So I'll give you a 50-50, maybe 50-50 chance on which way it could go.
But he's going to be my first choice. We're just going to walk in. I'm not going to be a cocky asshole. I'm not going to put it in his face. I'm just going to be more. It's more of a. There's a moth in here, and this cat wants to kill it.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the 3, if it's presence, persuasion, or deception, that would somewhat color your approach, but you can.
It's more
tweak
presence.
it from there.
More presence than anything is what I'm going for, because that's, I mean, presence or persuasion. So really, what I'm just be like, my thought is I'm gonna walk in, and just be like, and just sit down and just be like, hey man, kidnapping, we need this guy. Basically everyone's giving you up. My cohorts are in the other rooms talking to them. We've had various discussions, and you got to give this guy up, man. Like, you got to tell us where this guy is, because it's important.
All right. Just give me just say over or under, or high or low.
High.
Okay. Okay, so it didn't go. So you essentially have advantage 2 in doing. Just make your roll for your whichever the stat is at advantage 2.
Okay. Thank you, advantage 2. So I did roll a 6, which explodes. Well, I rolled 2 6s, but only one of them count. On that die 6. And of course I rolled a 1. Total is 19. You wanna come up? Hi, little one.
Okay, while he's not too happy with you, or he's upset that you're the one that is talking to him, he doesn't want to give up as much after you humiliated him so much, but he is aware of the time that he's facing. And make a perception check as far as well. Actually, sorry. I'll let me do it. What?
Yeah, give me advantage, because when I'm interrogating him, I've got the full mask and goggles on, and the goggles give me advantage. So
Okay.
it's 1 die 4 on my perception, I think.
Yeah. Let me see.
So 2 die 4.
1 die 4 for I have a 1.
Yeah. So the 1 die
2 die 4
but
with
I have
advantage.
it. I have, because my goggles are down. My perception.
Yeah. It's 2 die 4 with advantage. I was thinking that you were saying it was a higher stat. No, you got the 4.
What are you looking for?
So he says that the 3 of them were in the van. He was in the back with watching Merton. Thug number 1 was in the passenger seat of the van, and Tower Tom was driving. He said that only Tower Tom knew who they were actually hired for. And as far as where they were, he didn't see where they stopped. But he said it seemed to be kind of a nicer part of town. It probably looked like so you guys had gone over in here in Prenzlauer Berg. That's where this a biker bar was. The police station was here in Mitte, really Mitte proper, at Alexanderplatz. And he was saying, from the distance and how nice it was, he said it was probably somewhere in this region, but he doesn't know exactly. He was in the back of the truck watching Martin, who was tied up and blindfolded and gagged. And as far from reading him, as far as you can tell, he's telling the truth. It doesn't seem like he's deceiving you.
So my immediate response is, so you're confirming that Tom knows where it is, then?
Oh yeah. So he's saying, Tom was the leader of the group. We did definitely kidnap this guy. They did do it in the manner that Viper had described, and he was just Tom was the only one who knew where it was, who they were working for, where the place was. And he wasn't in the front to see where they were literally driving, but from the distance they would have driven, they could only gotten say this far, and from the amount of buildings and stuff around, from where he looked, it looked like it was here, because all this is more residential. I mean, Fredericksheim is it's dense. There are businesses and more stuff, but it's also a little bit shittier of an area.
Right. So
whereas Mitte is like Times Square stuff.
Right. So so I'm gonna go like, all right, you're smarter than you were in the bar. Basically, like, talking now, you should have been this smart earlier. And I'm just gonna walk out and leave and tell Metamorph and Lightning Man exactly what he said, so that they can go in and talk to the other ones. Basically say, like, Tom knows, so we have to get the information from Tom. The other thug may know whether or not he's smart enough to have paid attention, but Tom definitely knows. So however you guys want to handle it, I'm gonna like basically hand it off to them to go ahead and try the other stuff.
Yeah. It's like your turn. We'll do Lightning Man next. So knowing whatever he picked up, you can choose whoever you want to talk to, what approach you want to take, and make your roll.
I mean, it sounds to me like Tower Tom is basically got the information we need, but we should probably talk to Thug number 2, right?
Blue Suit just talked to Thug number 2.
Yeah.
Thug number 1 was the dumb one, or was 2 the dumb one?
The two is the dumb one.
2 was the idiot that I basically humiliated the shit out of and made him my bitch. So.
and from number 2's story, like Tom was driving, 1 was in the passenger seat, 2 is in the back with Merton.
All right, so I'm gonna talk to Thug number 1, and same sort of deal where let him know like, hey, you give us good information, and we may be able to, it'll be reflected in the police report, which potentially should make things go better for you in your case, in your trial. But I want to basically corroborate the information that we got from Thug number 2. So I'm going to ask him some of the same questions, and kind of talk to him about the same thing without revealing what I know right off the bat. I'll just be like, okay, so tell me about your kidnapping Merton and how it went, and ask them where they went.
Okay, and you're using presence. I'm guessing that's your better stat. That's force of personality, but it's also who you are. So you're going in there on your authority. Look, I'm a cop. You committed these crimes. We have the evidence. Number 2 is already flipped. All you can do now is try to reduce your sentence by cooperating with us. So
I guess I could try and aid him by also saying just like, oh yeah, your friends, they had some stuff to say about you. So you might want to say something about them, I don't know.
I mean, that's the other thing. You can go in together if you want. It's just then, and if you want to aid him to give him another advantage, it's just you wouldn't then be able to take a run. Whereas if you stay behind, he can make a run, then you make a run. Either way.
And I'm also gonna let him know that I'm just gonna be like, yeah, we know Tom was the mastermind behind this. So the more information you can give us to help us out, the easier it'll go for you, kind of thing.
Yeah. So do a presence check at advantage 4 because he's Taylor's assistant. That's a lot of die 6s. You want to just take the best of all the die 6s and then add it to the die 20.
Yes, but you have to roll well for it to really work.
Oh.
13.
13.
Yeah.
None of those 6s exploded?
He knows he's facing some time, but someone told him once, like, always ask for a lawyer, don't talk to anyone without a lawyer, so he's clamming up.
Can I like morph into like a lawyer? It's like, okay, now what? A lawyer.
No, I mean, the whole thing with the two-way glass, and your all these sessions are recorded and documented, so if you're using like deception or underhanded practices, you could get in trouble for that.
I see.
I thought that's how they did it back then.
Maybe. There were probably more of the phone book interrogations or the sack of oranges. Anyone else? Or it's metamorph. It's on you. You could go to. You can't take another run at 2. You could do another run at 2, or you could try number 4. Or if Shooting Star wants to try.
Yeah, I don't really know what to do.
Okay, so I will say you'll hold for that. Yeah, shooting star, and I know you don't have any points in it. It's still just a die 20 if you wanted to give a shot at number 1.
All right, I can. They come and get me. I've been doing paperwork, and I go in and I say, hey, a guy's life is on the line. You don't really want to go down for murder, do you? That wouldn't be good.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. So try
do yourself a favor.
yeah, persuasion. So just a regular
And I got a whole 11.
11. So he's still saying, nah, I want my lawyer.
Yeah.
Actually, I think technically you can't talk to him once they ask for it, but game rules, whatever, silliness.
Yeah. They
So,
didn't tell me that.
Blue suit, you could take a run at number 1 if you wanted to on your own, or with, well, actually everyone else has already seen him, or you can move on to Tom.
I think I'll just go straight to Tom, because if one is calling for the lawyer, what's the point at this at this juncture?
True.
So I'm just gonna, knowing that Tom is he knows, I'm just gonna have to just walk straight in there, like again, doing the full, mask down, mask and goggles on, and just walking in and be like, all right, man, throw it down and be like, what's the deal? Where is this guy? Like, you guys, I already know that you know where he is, and it's only a matter of time. If you make it take longer, and this guy dies, well, judge's gonna throw the book at you.
And does that give you an advantage on the like a roll for doing the mask thing for the intimidation?
I don't have the mask thing until next level, so I'm just going in as a superhero.
Yeah.
Saying?
Your style. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So make a presence check with advantage 3.
Oh, advantage 3.
Yeah. So 3 dice 6, and just take the best die 6 of the. What was it? 1, 2, 3. No, roll 4 dice 6 and take the best. Yeah, it's advantage 3. So roll.
I already my 20 was a 1. However, I rolled a 6 on one of the 6s, so I have to roll another one.
You guys have to email Mike, Scott, and Eddie and tell them.
Like, what the fuck, man?
We need you on the interrogation.
So that's a total of 11. Good for me.
Yeah, Tom he's just sitting there, just not saying a thing.
Yeah, he's just probably wrapping his fingers like, come on, man, I've been here before. So yeah, I'm just gonna be like, all right. I'm gonna walk out, and I'm just gonna go to the other guys and be like, yeah, obviously I'm not very convincing, but he knows. So one of you guys have to try. He didn't call for the lawyer, so one of you guys have to give it a go.
Well, Lightning Man, you're up next.
Could turn the recording equipment off, and I'll go in as the lawyer. Let's go off the.
Well, I mean, who else is here?
Well, I mean, this is kind of the headquarters for the whole city. But
Yeah, there's that. But I will state to them too, like, intimidation probably won't work with this guy because he likes to pick up motorcycles. So we may have to try something more underhanded. As I wink at Metamorph and be like, try to be more underhanded.
yeah, do the deception.
I like to steal things too, and yeah, I'm a cop, but I'm not really. Like, go with some sort of angle.
No, I don't know if that'll work.
Well, I mean, you can use any of the 3 social skills, and you depending on which of yours is higher, but one of them may work better than the other. So, I mean, maybe all of you have the highest at persuasion, but maybe deception will have, has a lower DC for this particular guy. And same
I
thing.
don't know. I don't think I
you
could
can
see
go
this guy.
singly, or you can go with two people if you want to assist the other.
You don't think you can bluff him and pretend you're a lawyer?
Sounds a little bit illegal,
We
but
can't do that. We
couldn't
can't do
pull
that
it. It's
because
not-
everyone else is watching. If we had him in an alley, obviously we could do some sort of weird bluffing thing. But everyone in this headquarters is watching us. Is basically what Kurt's intimating. So there's no way for us to do that thing that's underhanded. However,
yeah,
you know, Taylor likes to steal things. Taylor likes. So it's not like.
Well, you can still use deception,
Right.
as in, like, this would be like, dude, you're in Berlin. Do you know what, like, prison they put you in? They put you in this prison. They're known for blah, 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 and they don't like pyros in there. There's this one guy I knew who was a pyro, like to burn things down, burn a little, like you're telling some story. You just can't use deception, like, if you tell us where it is, we'll let you go, or literally disguise yourself as his lawyer. Like, that would be criminal, but you can still use deception as a stat for it.
Yeah, I guess I'll deceive him with telling him how hard we're gonna go down on him or something like that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, so you're using deception, but in a way that is legally, applicable. Or to Mike's back alley comment, I mean, you could have done that, but Shooting Star would probably object to it and might even file it in his report if he did it, that kind of thing.
Oh, 100%.
Right, and my character would not have agreed either.
And, just style-wise, your character wouldn't do it, but. And that could even be a thing. I mean, say, Eddie can probably do his mental thing, but if Taylor was more underhanded, like beat the guy up while he was in handcuffs, like he might have told you because of that, but Eric could invoke his flaw, file a police report, and then you can get in trouble with the police or something like that.
All right. So I'm gonna roll deception.
Yep, and it'll be with advantage 3. So roll 4 dice 6 and take the best of the 4.
You got a 2, 5, 6, 5. Roughly beats 6. A 6 into a 5. That's 25.
25. That's enough, especially with deception. So you basically use your deception to say, we're going to make sure to put you in this really horrible prison that does bad things to tall people like you, and the cells are really cramped, and you're 6'8". You imagine not being able to stand up all the way, and even when you lay down in the bed's not long enough, and you're just cramped like that. And they only let you out in the yard to walk every other week for 1 hour, and it's enough to cave him on that.
I'll also mention maybe like we started creating some superhero prisons, and we saw that you have some superhero might, so you're gonna be put into there.
Yeah, you're gonna be. It's like instead of tried by adult, you're gonna be tried as a supervillain. That'll be like the new thing. So he doesn't. It's not like he's crying, spilling his guts, but he knows when he's beat and just gives up what other information he had to try to minimize his sentence. I mean, it's like the criminal. He's a career criminal, but he knows when he's been beat, so he's just going to try to minimize the sentence, do the time, and try to get out. He essentially corroborates the story of how they did the kidnapping, and that he was the only person who knew who hired them, and the person who hired them was Hannah Fedor of the Character Syndicate, and the place that he delivered him to was. Let me just have it. Was the A7 Club. So this was when you were at the airfield, when you were leaving Vienna, one of the tips you had as far as a lead, there were references made to like the Berlin source running dry. And that was that like the source of the drug was lost, but it was also that whoever was operating there, like obviously the Character Syndicate must have had someone in Berlin securing and facilitating transport of the raw drug down to Vienna. And when you were at the airfield, you got the one lead. It was one name, Hannah Fedor, and it was this one address, the A7 Club. This is a shot. This is the overall building silhouette. This is the first 2 floors, and then from here it's a high rise. I can pull up the address. to see what it actually literally looks like. Sessions, notes. Actually, I think it's literally just called A7. So, A7. Oh, come on. This is also the one that's like pretty close, surprisingly close to the police station. So like the police station is in this building up here, and this is the building down here. So this is the overall building, and as you can see, it's got like 2 floors height around this footprint, and then above it partially is this other high rise. This is a multi-tenant like office building, and even these first 2 floors, there are multiple different businesses all the way around. This whole part that juts out, as well as like this sort of little slice, is the A7 Club, and then the rest of this floor going around are various other entrances to like storefronts and whatnot. Let's come over here so you can kind of see. So both, these windows and these are all facing into the club. This right here is the front entrance to the club. Although, as I said, like into this, it's not the full length of this building. It's only like the first, I don't know, maybe 30 feet or so. So that's what I'm showing here. Here is that high rise. Here's the overall footprint. And then here's the footprint of the club, the first floor and the second floor. And as far as first floor, there is the like a loading dock out back. So it's not like a normal type. It's like those kind of doors that don't really have a handle on the outside. And then the main entrance is here. And it's one of those that's generally only open during the day, or at evening rather. It's all closed up during the day, and it is a nightclub, essentially, like where people go to drink alcohol and dance and whatnot. When you are able to press Tower Tom about Hannah herself, and you get that he is pretty afraid of her. He's a pretty tough guy. He doesn't bow down to much. But when you're pressing him on, who this is, he's sort of now like dumping everything he knows about them to give you as much information as possible. And while he doesn't really show, like, oh, I was terrified of her, you get the sense that she really put the kind of the fear of God into him in a way. She had negotiated with him directly. As Viper said, he normally doesn't mess around with kidnappings, but it was just so much money he couldn't turn the offer down. And the one downside about kidnappings is you have to sit there and babysit somewhere at a location where the police could show up, and they just wanted him delivered. So it was like, just nab the guy, drop him off, dust hands, get your money, and go. But he does say when negotiating with her about the details of it, he was sitting in her office, trying to use his stature and presence against her, and he said she is a really petite, slight person. I mean, she's only like 5'1", thin. Because like a stiff breeze would blow her over. Not that she was gaunt or skinny, but she's a little thing. And I mean, he's 6'8", and he was trying to like kind of literally tower over her desk and bully his way into it. Sits down on the couch, starts having his drink, and suddenly he notices there's a spider crawling up his jacket. And okay, spiders are kind of creepy, but you just kind of swat it off or smush it. But he sees this spider and he can't move. He says, so I am just sitting there frozen as the thing crawls up his neck, over his cheek, and like up his cheek across his eye, and he can't move the whole time. He's just frozen there. And that was what was terrifying, was the lack of agency, not being able to do anything. And then when the spider was gone, she walked over, kind of crawled up over him, straddled him, and sat down playing with her letter opener, just spinning it in her fingers right in front of his eyes. And again, he can't move or do anything. So he said, as small as she is, he just felt terrified by her because the way she talked, she wasn't some little girl. This was a absolutely vicious, vindictive person who would do anything to get what she wanted. And it was that just force of will and whatever this was, him not being able to move, that he just took whatever she. It was still a pretty fair price for the job, but there was absolutely no reasoning with this woman. He wasn't supposed to tell any of the other guys the details, but after that encounter, he definitely wasn't going to tell them anything because he was just too embarrassed by the encounter. So he basically says, like, that's where she is, and you can go for her, but I wouldn't take her lightly if I were you.
And what the kind of cigarette does she smoke?
She doesn't smoke. He actually said, so her office was pretty well. It's a nice office. It was well stocked with its own bar, and all of her guys would mix themselves drinks and stuff. But all she had on her desk was just a cup of tea. Like, she never drank, she never smoked. She was just straight edge. She was also very well dressed, so kind of put together professional. Uh, if you imagine in a crime syndicate, there's always a consigliere. Like, they're the guy that they can handle themselves, but they don't really get physical themselves. They just kind of advise on it. But they are always well educated, well trained, well composed, intelligent, well thought, and it's almost like their force of will that gets them more what they need to. She's that type of person, and it's almost discipline of like no sex, no drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes or anything goes with it. That's pretty much everything he has. You can ask any other questions if you had something else to ask. But as far as you're filing your paperwork, you're consulting with the local department on it. They had run this club when you first talked to them, because you gave them the details of your investigation that this was one lead. And Sergeant Vesely says that they looked into this club after you initially mentioned the lead, and that, for one, as much as you have this guy's confession, it's still not enough to get a warrant to literally go in and shut the place down and just search it, because it's just this guy's word. What if this is, you could just lie and say, if there's no real hard evidence that he could provide, it's not quite enough to get a search warrant. And on top of that, this club has one hell of a lawyer. It's not Hannah herself. It's some guy they give you the name of. This guy is connected. He works all around town. He regularly plays golf with the mayor like every other week. Golf has been huge in Germany since 1895. It's not enough to get a warrant, but you are allowed to go on site and investigate and sniff around. If there's doors marked private, you can go and check those out. You have enough like reasonable suspicion to check the place out. You just can't go in with the cops, kick down all the doors, and tell everyone they're under arrest. So you could go check the place out. You just can't, walk in, show your badges, and expect everyone to go with what you say. You have to find actionable evidence, or have someone attack you, or do something that is an actual crime that you could press on. So if that's it, that'll be it. And the next time that will be, you can essentially rest up, take the. I mean, it's already late for this time. Well, actually, you've had the whole day. You went there. It was probably around 5 or 6. You are kind of worried about Martin, so we'll actually keep it the same day. So you kind of nabbed all these guys around like 5:30, 6 p.m. You got back to the interrogation. It's like 7:30, maybe 8 o'clock. This is right around the corner, and it's 8 o'clock. It's like the time when the club's opening and a lot of people are showing up. So you'll essentially leave here, go down the street, and go investigate the club next time.
Cool.
Are we going to get any experience anytime soon,
It'll most likely be after this one.
Okay.
After the club.
Okay.
I've been doing it by, kind of by runs or pairs of, hey, I don't do like one. If you did 1 XP every single encounter, every single night, you really level up too fast because there's only 3 XP
No,
per
no,
level.
I didn't mean that.
You
But
know, no,
I had
I
several
honestly,
different
I was thinking
things.
the exact same thing. I was thinking like, okay, when am I going to get there? The individual people can do stuff to get an experience point for something they're doing that's special or different, but for the whole group, it came up in my own checks. I'm like, oh yeah, they're all going to need one. I'm like, well, the bar fight's not. I'm like, okay, the club will probably be the next one, so that'll probably be the next one where you tip over to the next XP. Any other questions or anything else?
No, I think I'm pretty good. It was a good run there. I mean, that was a tough. That could have gone a
Yeah,
lot
that
different
ended up
ways.
being a tough fight. I mean, honestly, I thought you guys had it already, and then when Taylor showed up, because he's more the physical type, whereas Eddie's like all of his defenses are like 12 at the highest. I'm like, oh well, Taylor now they're just gonna clock it, and then like I had a couple of good rolls, you had a couple of bad rolls, and then Taylor got knocked down. Then Eric had like 2 bad hits in a row, and he was nearly. And then I was like, oh man, these guys might fold. Like the police might have to come in and help out. Yeah, it
That
just
would
shows
have
you
been
what
embarrassing.
like how rolls can really swing in this one, since the crits crit. Or the crits can crit when you do the exploding dice.
No, it was good.
Yeah, but you pulled it out. Good job. All right, well, I'll see everyone next week.
All right, guys. Later.
Thank you, Kurt.
All right.
Nice seeing you guys.
Bye.